Right then, let's have it. Corriedale, Coronation Street, big old week spectacular. This is where we're going to blow through our second thoughts. I don't know, have we had any change of thoughts since we did the reaction episode to Corriedale? We'll have to find out. We have watched it again since, haven't we?
Yeah, we have, yeah.
And there was an awful lot of other Corrie that happened after that as well, including one jolly good episode on Wednesday, even if I do say myself. But before that, of course...
You didn't have anything to do with it. Why are you acting like you're taking credit for it?
I'm not, I'm just...
Even if I do say so myself, even though I had nothing to do with it, I thought it was a good episode.
Well, I'll have you know that I am actually the baby. I'm the lump.
Well, I think I could have guessed.
Right, come on then. Clickbait time, Gemma. Thank you very much, Jonathan, for sending us some clickbait this week. What you got for us? I hope there's some Corriedale themed ones.
From the Express, Corriedale fans lose it following iconic moment in explosive special.
Oh, that's very vague, Express. Iconic moment. Okay, I'm going to go straight to Eric Pollard meeting Ken Barlow.
You're correct.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'll trust the Express to love that.
I thought you'd go for Lisa being saved like an angel.
No.
But no.
Yeah.
It was iconic and they lost it.
What did they lose? Marbles.
I can't say.
Marbles, Gemma.
Coronation Street fans screaming at most satisfying piece of television. I was going to tell you in a second. Coronation.
I just got the filthiest look.
Coronation Street fans screaming at most satisfying piece of television in Corriedale move from the Manchester Evening News.
Okay, that was Lisa arresting Becky. Surely, I do believe many people found that quite satisfying.
I'm ready for us to all move on from people saying they're literally screaming.
Why?
They aren't though, are they? They're not screaming, are they?
Oh, I don't know. I've seen some people out there doing screamings online. I don't know whether they're just doing it for the internet reactions, but...
Alone in their rooms.
Do you think if we moved into the old live reaction thing for the podcast, we'd be sitting there on our sofa going, ah, all the time, just to... Because that's what gets the clicks and the likes and the comments and the subscribes, you know?
That's how you've got to make a little thumbnail for your YouTube video.
Yeah, me just going, me doing my Kevin McAllister impression. Okay, next, what we got? I'm on a roll with this.
Kevin's annoyed again. Screaming. I'm literally screaming. Corriedale fans fume over Billy's painful death and point out crazy error from the Mirror.
Ooh, crazy error about Billy's death. Is this going to spoil it for me?
No.
Is it that he didn't have a singed beard?
No, but I bet that really did smell. I bet the burning hair on the beard is worse than normal hair.
Is it that Billy is actually Jewish and he was saying the Lord's Prayer? No?
No, that would be a mighty error.
That'd be a twist. What was the error in... I don't know.
Shall I tell you?
Yeah.
No one went back for him.
Oh, yeah. I mean, so often with these clickbaits, we kind of talk a bit about them as we do them, but it's probably all going to come later. But we have been having similar discussions ourselves this week, haven't we?
It was a bit like one of those where somebody pushes somebody else out of the way of a car and then stands waiting dutifully for the car to run them over. Like it didn't need to happen that way. It just was this completely for the story.
I don't know. I am going to say I'm not too fussed about this, because if you're, Tracy, you're going to be making sure that Amy's okay. Cassie and Steve, they were out in a field somewhere, weren't they, making sure each other was okay. A lot of Asher was there making sure that anyone need mouth to mouth or what have you. And I think if you were...
She wasn't. You don't do that anymore.
Oh, well, I don't know. If you were in a situation like that, I think many people might just assume that somebody else has rescued everybody else.
Well, therein lies the error, doesn't it?
But I think it was. I think it wasn't unrealistic for people to think, I'm sure everybody's out now.
It would have made more sense if they'd commented on that at all. What happened was the front two passengers were Theo and Todd, and Todd was unconscious.
Yeah.
Theo rescued him and then went back to kill Billy, right? So from that perspective, it makes sense. But nobody thought, where the hell was Billy then?
I don't know. I think that... And people were in shock. They were saying, blimey, there's some people from Emmeradale there. I love watching that. And they just... Yeah, I think that... I'm going to give that a pass.
I'm not.
Take that.
Corriedale fans issue some same major complaint just minutes into special from the Express.
Oh, really? A complaint minutes into the special?
Major complaint, Michael. The same major complaint. So...
No theme music?
If everybody says it, it's got to be true.
No theme music?
No.
Too much incidental background music?
No.
Too dark?
Yes.
Was it?
Yes.
It was quite sombre in tone, wasn't it?
Well, it's
very atmospheric.
I feel very smug.
Why?
We did spend quite a lot of money on a very expensive television.
Lovely OLED last
year.
year.
That we could see, specifically horror movies. But it came in very useful. Because I was sick and tired. Because you guys know I do my horror movies. Every October I do.
Horror movie marathon.
Every day if I can. Or at least I watch 31 in October. And there were some where you just couldn't see anything because there were like 2 shades of black on a screen depicting a whole myriad of things. And you're like, nothing's happened here. I want to go back and watch that infamous episode of Game of Thrones that's too dark to see now we've got the new telly. Yes, you do. The battle where they're all in the dark. And all of...
Oh, what? The Battle of Winterfell?
Whatever it was.
Well, we did get a little tip-off, didn't we, from a lovely soap journalist beforehand to say, watch it with the lights off. So we did.
We did, actually. We did watch it with the lights off.
So I had no complaints there.
Well, it's not fair, really, because I think TVs aren't good enough for... I think honestly, I do think that filmmakers and TV people have got to realise that you cannot see anything.
Well, we did actually, and I don't think we mentioned this on the podcast last week, one of last week's episodes was incredibly dark, wasn't it? And we were watching it in the morning, because that was when I was off school still.
I think we did.
And we have the sun that comes in through our big lounge window in the morning, and that was a real struggle to figure out what was going on.
Couldn't see anything. Yeah, we had to keep getting out the iPad.
Yeah.
So we weren't so smug then, were we?
We weren't.
No.
That's probably the only reason that they didn't put Corriedale on at 7 a.m, you know. Just so they thought, no one's going to be able to know what's going on. We've got to put it on after dark. Any more?
Coronation Street fans call out weird missed opportunity with Corriedale crossover from Digital Spy.
Missed opportunity? Ooh, I don't know. Is it something related to an actor crossing over, like the Stephen Vikram J kind of thing?
Yeah, it was like, why didn't that happen?
Why didn't people say, hey, Billy looks like that gay bin man?
No.
No? I don't know. What is it?
It's like, where's Belle then? Where's this wedding planner at the wedding?
Oh, yeah. Oh, that was last week's Coronation Street. I was thinking it was about Corriedale.
Excuse-moi.
Yes, you're right. Belle did not turn up to Debbie's wedding.
I mean, she should have done. There is one more, but I can't. We're done now.
We've had enough. We've got plenty more to talk about, haven't we? Thank you very much to lovely Jonathan for sending our clickbait this week. Right, I've got some storyline titles for you this week, Gemma Cox, and
don't say my full name. I'm in witness protection.
And they're all fairly terrible, but I have been on a bit of a roll this past few weeks with terrible storyline title puns, haven't I?
Is this why you haven't scrolled down?
Yes, it is.
It's so funny when you do this.
Okay, so the whole what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen.
This is bonkers.
Is we're going to run through Monday's episodes chronologically, right? So the half an hour and then Corriedale, but then we're going to split it off into the different storylines. And I know that Wednesday was kind of a very standalone David and Shona thing, but it kind of made a bit more sense to do it this way. So the Corriedale bit first, except we're not calling it Corriedale on this podcast, Gemma.
Right, what are we calling it?
This is going to appeal to fans of Saturday morning cartoon shows. Trippin' Dales Rescue Strangers. Yeah. There we go.
Do you know what the funny thing is? They literally, Kate Brooks was talking to me the other day.
Was she?
And she's told me that was one of the ones that they rejected the name.
Oh, right. So what about Corriedale?
Because it doesn't go onto a logo.
I think that Mickey Mouse would be marching right up to Media City if they did that. So we're going to start off with our Trippin' Dales Rescue Strangers storyline
Kate
first.
Brooks doesn't really talk to me. I just talk to her in my head.
She's talked to us once a year if we're very lucky and honoured. We're going to do the show.
It's like an audience with the Pope.
Yes, we're going to do the Show Me the Mummy storyline next, Gemma, which has come true this week. She actually is a mum. There's a baby. It's got a name and everything.
I will not have this Clayton erasure.
Oh, yeah. Jodie doesn't even know about that yet, does she?
Well, she does seem to. Mind Clayton looks like he could be the same age as she is.
Quite true, actually. Oh,
Jodie's Clayton's mum.
Okay, we're then going to have the Carl Crash storyline.
Jodie's Shona's mum.
You missed my storyline title there, Gemma. Carl Crash. Car Crash.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty terrible. Kill Bill is obviously the...
Oh, yeah.
I think Dan Brocklebank even made that joke himself in one of the behind-the-scenes videos. I was like, I'll take that. But we probably got it first when Bill Webster died, whenever that was. So we're just recycling him with it because it's good for the environment and we're all about that. Okay, so this is the title for the Swiler storyline this week, Gemma. And it seems that Becky has got her comeuppance and that Carla and Lisa have won, right? So... the storyline title, and this one appealed to fans of Beckham gossip from about 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Rebecca Lose. Thanks for that. And thank you to everybody at home who rolled their eyes throughout the whole of that section. Please flip them back into your skulls in the correct orientation.
I mean, we watched a little bit of Emmerdale, didn't we? And we were trying to come up with some titles for them. I don't know. I don't know if anybody does this for Emmerdale.
I don't know. We can ask Tinkle all the way.
I thought your See You Later was really great.
See You Later, yeah,
that was
exactly.
classic. Yeah,
and Raygon.
Yeah,
I'm sure I had another one.
You did have another one, but I can't remember what it was.
Oh, it wasn't very good. It was about maybe it wasn't even a made up story. It was April Fools or something. Anyway, it wasn't that day.
Well, how about Bear's Dead?
Yeah,
I don't know if he is dead. Somebody said he might not be.
Yes.
Bear off instead of bore off. Bear off.
Bear off, Billy. Anyway, look. Are we going to talk about this bloody programme that people are only tuning in to listen to us chatting about?
What
or are we going to witter on about nothing? Coronation Street, of course.
I like Trippendale's Rescue Strangers. I think that has got a real...
It's got a ring to it. There are other options as well. I could have gone with Flip in Dales. Because there were cars that were flipping all over the place, and that's probably what Stephen says. Yeah. Sorry, Steve McDonald says when it happened.
Flipping
flip, Cassie, what's going on here?
Never would have happened if we hadn't gone to Yorkshire.
Or it could have said, because there were cars involved. Whip in Dales, because that's cool language for car.
Oh, my whip.
Yes, my whip.
It's my ride.
Look, yes, Gemma. Would you like to recap Mondays? Oh no! Before we get onto that, I think this is a very important conversation. I'm really hot. We've got the hot blanket on here, and I've been wearing my Gary Windass padded jacket all this week because it's been flipping cold, as Stephen McDonald would say, and it's nice and warm. Gemma,
yes,
5 episodes a week, half an hour format.
Don't like it.
You said
you
wouldn't
like it being
like
every day. I don't like it.
That's what you said, and I know you're very stubborn and you don't like changing your mind.
I admit when
things.
I'm wrong. I do admit when I'm wrong.
So you've not enjoyed that.
I was thinking today about all the times I've been wrong, and I've forgotten all of them. But I am very gracious in defeat.
So have all your worst fears come true?
It's just every day, isn't it? It's every day.
I've actually...
it's like,
been kind of enjoying it.
Now we've got to watch Coronation Street before we can do anything. It's like, you know how I hate showers? You hate showers. You know that, right?
Yes, I do.
I don't like how you have to do them. They're boring. And it's like an obligation.
You've got better things to do in the day.
Like, maybe it's nice when you get in there, but then you've got to deal with the aftermath. That's exactly Coronation Street. It's like, oh, here we go again. It's on every day. You've got to do it every day. Then you're like in it going, oh, this is all right. Then afterwards, like, I've got to record the thing and write your notes and we'll do a podcast.
We haven't done a podcast every day.
I feel like we have.
I've been mixed this week. I've been mixed on the half-hour format. I thought that some days it's worked better than others. I thought that Monday's half an hour was great, but that was, then leading into the hour of Corriedale, so they couldn't have really gone wrong there, could they? I thought that Wednesday's episode with David and Shona was absolutely outstanding, and I went into that episode with no clue whatsoever what we were letting ourselves in for. I just thought, what's going to happen next to all the other stories? But everything about that episode, I'm singing its praises. It was tip-top stuff. I thought that today's managed it fairly well, because there were a few nice twists in there, like Becky at the end, but some of the other ones, like yesterday's, for example, it just kind of felt that it was a bit too dominated by the Carl storyline, and then none of the other storylines really managed to get in more than 2-3 scenes or so. So you kind of left wanting more a little bit, and I'm thinking that Corrie should maybe try and cut down the number of concurrent stories in an episode if they're going to stick with the half an hour format, because it's not half an hour, it's 22 minutes. Mm-hmm. I think it's really, really tough to pack them in, and there's not really time for scenes where there aren't big revelations or... I know there's nothing wrong with just the plain old dialogue scenes, of course. And I really enjoyed that about Wednesday's episode, but I think it was because Wednesday's was only focused on one story. It gave it everything time to breathe, and all of the lovely, calm, nice, lovely dialogue that filled that episode from start to finish. Yeah, it was fine, but yeah, I'm still on the fence, as I thought I might be, about whether or not I like that it's half an hour. But I do like that it's on every day. And I don't like that you don't like it, but when I'm at work, it's nice to think, oh, Corrie's on tonight. Yeah.
I'm glad you like it.
If I'm having, got a big pile of marking or what have you, I'm like, whoa, this is a bit tough. But it doesn't matter, because Corrie's on tonight. Oh, I wonder what's going to happen on Corrie. But then on the flip side, if it turns into be a bit of a low bog standard / Bobbins episode, then my hopes get dashed, and 5 dashings of hopes a week in a particularly bad week, I don't know. They might finish me off. So the jury's still out for me, and I hope that maybe you'll come round to it.
Well, listen, I know that there's probably people going, oh, why is she moaning about it? She's in a Coronation Street podcast, moaning about it being on every day. I've always been like this about anything, even if I love it. I don't I couldn't really cope with Big Brother being on every day.
No,
I don't even like it. I love Traitors, but when it's on last week when it was the 3rd day in a row, Traitors on, I was like, what the hell? Can we stop doing this?
I don't know why they don't spread Traitors out and make it once a week.
I can't do something every day. I just can't.
I know every morning you roll over and see me on the other side of the bed and go, what is he still doing here?
I can't believe it. Why?
15 and a half years. He's still not been able to get rid of him yet.
And then I just etch into the wall.
Another notch on the bedpost.
No, that's something different.
That's something different. Right, Gemma. Monday's Coronation Street.
Right.
Build up to Corriedale.
What happened on the day before that? So
we had the wedding.
The wedding happened, and then
Kevin
had ruined it.
Kevin had ruined... Right, there's still no answers to either of my big nitpicks from last week. No answers to what happened exactly with the money. Was there a full bag, a part bag? Where's the other bag? How did Abby get the money out of the bag? No idea. So,
don't worry about it.
And no answer to what exactly was Kevin playing the video on if he didn't have the laptop with him.
Don't worry about it.
And why was he playing that video? So I'm a little bit gutted about that. But anyway, yeah, that was the episode before.
I'm getting very worried that there will be no answers to any of the Becky stuff either. But anyway, we're not talking about that now. We're talking about the aftermath and the continued celebrations of the nuptials of Ronnie and Debbie.
Still Debbie Webster.
Good for her.
Yeah.
So
they couldn't have changed her, could they? It just rolls off the tongue like Jenny Bradley. Hang on a minute. But she's Jenny Bradley now, isn't she?
Yeah. Good for her.
And, if anyone's wondering, Jodie was credited as Jodie Ramsey today. So
why not Jodie Neighbours?
She's not got married off. Right, go on then, sorry. I'm an excitable
That's all right.
mood this evening.
Okay. You can be happy. It's not infectious. On Monday, everyone's dancing.
Spreading through to the ears of our listeners.
The disco, when Theo comes in and he's bopping around with Christina and the ladies. He's looking
for Todd. A bit of a slow-mo bop, isn't it?
But Todd's sad in his bedroom because he and Billy had just had he had to come to Jesus moment with Billy, hadn't he? Where he was saying, look, you've been abused here. This is not right.
Yes.
So, meanwhile, Debbie is still shaking from the confrontation that she had with Carl, and Carl is getting drunk by the gazebo, which you can buy.
Huh?
You can buy that gazebo. We saw it online.
Oh, yeah. I was trying to write down in the notes, what's that thing called? How would you describe it? So I put it into the internet, and it said it is a gazebo, and you can find exact copies of it. So if you liked it. Maybe that was a product placement on Monday's episode. Stone gazebos.
Well, if any of those cars were product placements...
But they've got very good airbags.
Yeah, and not very good contracts.
No.
Right, so Kit is back at Coronation Street on the phone to somebody saying, well, Carla's not left the country. Track down Becky's car, and then Lauren's there, and he gets it out of her that all of the Swains are going to Spain. Swains in Spain, like mainly on the plane. In the hotel. that Raphael is
Lisa,
checking them out.
Becky Swain doesn't lie mainly on the plane. She lies all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
She doesn't stop lying.
No. He's narked that Lisa says it's just fine when he asks her how her stay was.
Oh, Raph.
Yeah. And
Raphael, that was great.
She gives him her number to give to Carla if she asks, well, to give to Ryan. And Becky finds out, but there's nothing she can do about it at this point. So Ryan gets the message with the new number. So he's got that.
What does Becky find now? She finds
that Lisa's given out this number, and she's gone to all this, she's gone to the great lengths of getting everybody new phones and new numbers, and then Lisa's just giving it out to Ryan.
Did she find out before the actual car trip?
Yes, she did.
Oh, I can remember that.
So at the party, Tracy wants to buy Amy and Steve a drink, and she does it. Oh, I don't know where Cassie's gone. And got no idea. She's probably drunk in a bush or something. Then Kit gets a call back for a location for Becky's car, which was last seen a week ago. Then Todd gets to see Billy, and he says, I want to go home. Can I stay with you? I can't do this anymore. And Billy's like, yeah, I'm driving the minibus, so I'll get to see if anyone wants to go home early.
It's all Todd's fault, isn't it? Theo's not wrong. It's like, Todd's like, can we go home now? And Billy's like, let me just round everyone up, spoil the party, Todd.
Well,
put them all in mortal peril.
He says, you're safe now. You don't have to put up with this anymore.
Billy's lovely. Dead.
He is dead now, yeah.
This is why we don't skip around storylines too much, because this is seeming very disjointed. The Debbie storyline.
No. Kit pulls up to
Kit.
the teenage wasteland, and he's like, oh, Becky's car's gone. There's no sign of anything there. I can't find any clues. Then we hear banging from the shipping container, and he breaks in, and it's Carla to ominous music. And Coronation Street's used incidental music this week, and that was one of the things I hated the most about Emmerdale. Like, not I didn't hate many things about Emmerdale. In fact, nothing apart from the incidental music. I think it's pants. I think it's so pants.
I surprisingly didn't mind it this week, but there was an awful lot in Emmerdale last week, wasn't there? From the couple of weeks
I don't need you to tell me how to feel about something.
Yeah,
this is not. We're not getting Oscars out here, are we? We're not soundtrack Oscars we're up for here. Just deal with the fact you're a soap.
They had it for a couple of episodes of Corrie this week, didn't they? Because this one had it when Carla was in the shipping container. I think they had a little bit. Was it on Tuesday's episode where Rita and Ken were walking down the street putting the flowers on Billy's memorial? I think they had a bit of music there. But yeah, you were quite concerned that it's like, is this new era for Coronation Street where anything goes with background music?
Makes me feel like one of those monkeys from Space Odyssey or whatever, where they're jumping up and down and smashing each other's heads in with bones. Like, what is this new discovery you've found of music? I don't want to.
You're just there smashing the record player.
Yeah.
It's not needed.
Coronation fans literally screaming at new revelation. Right, so Carla's bin locked in this shipping container
I thought there was
for a
another
week.
story. Carla's bin is filled with David's rubbish. He's got his revenge on her.
He's like, get that, take that. No, she's been there the whole time. No toilet, no drink, no medicine. No.
Surprising that she's not doing so bad, is it really?
She surprisingly she could. How did she know that Kit? Well, I guess she had the car.
Yeah.
She would have been very cold. There's no blankets.
I don't know.
Could
she have survived?
So really, I mean, for a week with no water and no medicine. We did at the beginning of Tuesday's episodes was a very hilarious compilation of all of the characters in hospital being told they're fine. And I think it would have been funnier if we just had a doctor come in and go, hello, my name is Dr. Exposition. I'd just like to let you know that everything that's happened, apart from Billy dying, is fine.
Doesn't matter, it was just for the drums.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that you had to have water every, isn't it 3 days? Isn't it like the...
Yeah.
3 hours...
3 minutes, 3 minutes oxygen.
3 hours shelter.
3 days water,
yeah.
3 weeks food.
Yeah.
I could go longer.
You got enough to live off,
my special power.
Right. So I don't know how she did that, and I don't know. Did somebody put on our Facebook group about the likelihood of her being able to survive without a kidney medicine for all that time? I don't know.
She just thought really hard.
But yeah, which is what we should not be doing about this little nitpick that we're raising here. But hooray, Carla's safe. Who'd have thought it? If only she hadn't been an option for the Corriedale voting.
Yeah, I mean, that somewhat ruined the anticipation on it a little bit because number one, no one was worried that Carla had already died. Number two, they literally put her on a poll for who could meet in the crossover. So were they genuinely expecting us to think that something bad had happened to her? I think that was a bit of a mistake myself.
Yeah. And very handy that he was able to find her just literally in the middle of nowhere. But...
Also, okay, I know that I always overthink everything, but this show is called Conversation Street Overthinking with Michael and Gemma. I don't know if you guys knew that. But if I was Kit, I'm really sorry, I wouldn't let her in the car because she's probably been relieving herself in her very beautiful outfit.
Well, it was very dark, and the second time we watched it, I did have a quick scan of it just to see if she had a corner or something that she was using. And
well, she was lying on the floor, the lazy cow.
What would you be doing?
I'd be doing
getting your steps in round the outside of
I'd be on my phone,
the perimeter.
ordering some Deliveroo. Right, so
yeah, even
I'd put newspapers down at the very minimum.
She's probably very, very smelly. And so I saw somebody pointing out, I can't remember where it was now, that even when she hugs Roy on Tuesday's episode, I think she's still wearing the same clothes, and he doesn't even...
It's terrible.
Didn't even wrinkle his nose with it. So
very crusty.
Good old Roy.
I mean,
he tells it like it is.
They showed her dishevelment in her hair.
Yes.
They're like, look at her hair, it's not even straight anymore. This woman's gone through so much.
It's
unbelievable.
lost its gloss.
Can you no, nobody knows what she's been through. Right, so Shona gets mad because back at the wedding, David is sneaking a drink from Ryan's hip flask and she drags him back inside.
Oh, that was great. David was fantastic this week. Jack P. Shepherd was on top form with many of his reactions. But yeah, it's him and Ryan and Daniel, I think, wasn't it, up against the wall. And Shona catches him. And kind of the look that he gives, I can't even describe it, but it was a classic kind of David dismissive. It was
an award-winning look.
It was a Top Lad award-winning look. I appreciated that scene. I also enjoyed the first dance scene with Debbie and Ronnie as well. And he's like, and she's saying, oh yeah, how does she say? Oh yeah, blah blah blah. This is why I'm not a script writer. It's like, it's very unlike me and to want to make a show of myself in public. And he's like, okay, well, excuse me if I drag my usually so timid wife to the dance floor.
Yeah,
it was great.
See?
It was so. I just loved
the
wedding. Everything about that wedding was brilliant.
It was. I did like it. We should have one.
Done it.
Oh yeah.
We could do a vow renewal at the what is it? Beckendale? No,
that's
not the Beckendale Hotel.
Fake.
What's it called?
That's the site of an air crash disaster.
Saddleworth Hotel. We should. Maybe we could go there. That'd be cool.
When's the next one? 15.
We've just had 15, so we've got to wait 5 years now.
Oh well, forget it then.
I would like to go and visit that hotel. I think it might be on our list, but it's not too far away. It's not actually near Leeds, is it?
No.
It's closer to It's close. It's not too
Bolton,
far.
Isn't it?
No. It's the other side of Bolton. It's close to the Legacy Beach paper mill where Phelan killed Andy. Supposedly, although I saw him on Corriedale this week. I don't know about you. And also the campsite where Gemma and Chesney had their caravanning disaster.
We could have a caravanning disaster easily.
We could manage that, do you reckon?
Right, so Kevin finds Abby outside with her suitcase and they don't know where Carl is, but then he sloshes up saying, I'm going to tell you one thing, then you're never going to see me again.
If only.
If only. Carla is in Kit's car saying, I found a fake passport in Becky's flat.
Oh, yes.
This was the incriminating evidence?
This is what she found.
It's probably all she found.
I am absolutely gobsmacked that we haven't seen Costello this week, because it's like, surely he would maybe have something to say.
This is why it's deeply unsatisfying when they do police stories, because in like Netflix and stuff and all the rest of them are just full of these 6-episode long mystery, police investigation, thriller, dark, gritty things, and they always at the end tell you what actually happened. And Coronation Street seems like everybody, I know this isn't true, but everybody on that team only watched 5 episodes worth of it and went, oh, it's always a mystery what happens at the end.
Don't need to answer the questions.
It's all one of those hypothetical questions.
We have surely not seen the last of Costello.
I don't know, Michael.
No, we haven't. But yeah, so he sent Carla off to the flat.
But he didn't send Carla to the flat to find this out. He sent her to find out the evidence that Becky's bent, right? So this information, presumably, off screen, she's told Kit all about this. And for some reason, Coronation Street doesn't think that it's relevant to show us part of the entire reason that Becky was killed off in the first place, why Lisa had an argument with her, why she was called Burnt Becky, why the Radcliffe brothers were involved in it, why that weirdly suspicious therapist talked to her that time and was talking on the phone to somebody else.
There was so many things. I forgot about this therapist.
We were like, is he in on it as well? Like,
Oh,
what?
and speaking of best sneaky phone calls, who made that website for Becky? Still don't know that one yet.
So,
but I don't think it's clearly.
Do you think...
Today's episode, Friday's episode, showed that we have not seen the end of this tale.
There better be a court case. I think the trouble is that it's not a police show, but they keep doing police stories, and we said this a million times. Don't do it if you're not prepared to actually wrap it up properly. But there's no time or space in a soap for all of this technical, like,
we should. There is far too many questions left for this not to be.
It's happened before.
I know, but I genuinely haven't heard of any on location shooting at the Bolton Town Hall. So if you're looking for a trial scene, you might have a little while to wait. But I
don't know.
No. Anyway,
I think she might get killed.
Well, she does.
It kind of reminds me of the end of Line of Duty. This is a spoiler, kind of, but nothing actually gets resolved at the end of that.
No, it doesn't. What she did find, Carla, when she went to Costello's flat, though, was a fake passport, right? Wasn't it? With a stamp in it from Hull to Rotterdam.
Thank you, Brexit. Finally, something good's come out of it.
What?
Before you never got stamped when you went to Europe. Now you got to get stamps when you go to Europe in your passport.
Yeah. Thank you, Brexit. We've been able to rumble Becky.
Who'd have thought that Nigel Farage could be responsible for uncovering Becky's evil plans to take her family to Spain?
Praise be.
Hooray! We'll send him a letter. Right, so...
So this puts the idea in Carla's head that they need to go to Hull just in case she's planning to use the same shipping company or whatever to sneak the slaves.
Or like also exactly the
continent.
same route. Even though she was at the teenage wasteland, and presumably they've gone from Chariot Square Hotel, I guess there's only one road between Manchester and Hull, which is probably true.
Well, you've got to keep each other out, haven't you?
What?
It's like the Giant's Causeway. No, what is it?
I don't know what you're talking about.
What's that place in Scotland where there's a little bridge that kind of rises?
I don't want to talk about it.
It connects to an island. I don't know.
Right, okay, we won't talk about it.
Or maybe I'm thinking of 28 days later. No, 28 years later. That had a little crossing that appeared every now and then, didn't it?
Yeah. I don't think that's what connects Hull to Manchester, no.
Okay. Straight through the Pennines.
So they're gonna like, okay, I've got nothing else to do. I'll drive to Hull to the ferry port. And I was saying to you, I'm confused why are they taking their car to the airport to go to Spain, but then it makes sense why they take their car.
Yes. I was also saying to you that my mind was blown about where Hull is because I was sure that it was in the northwest, but apparently now it's on the northeast.
I told you where it was.
Call myself a beautiful South fan.
Right, David and Shona go to the boiler suite because Shona needs a wee, and Cassie's been locked in there by evil Tracy, and she storms off, goes to the dance floor, has a go at Tracy. Nothing much really comes of it. It's just funny shenanigans.
It is really, isn't it? Like we were all waiting for Tracy to meet her maker on Corriedale, and nothing happened whatsoever.
No, she was quite heroic actually.
She was the one that started off the epic Lisa rescue, wasn't she?
Yeah, and she did something else, I've forgotten.
It was nice to have...
She protected Todd from the explosion.
Yes, she did at one point, didn't she? It was nice to have a wider cast there. Not everyone needs to be involved. But, yeah, just maybe a little bit unusual. But I'm not complaining, because I like Tracy, I like Cassie.
Debbie's looking for Carl. Nobody cares where he is. But he is swigging from a bottle, talking to Abby... And they're both kind of like having a bit of a tragedy Olympics about how sad they both are about everything. But basically, at the end of it, they just separate, don't they?
He even tries to give her a goodnight kiss. The man slag. He does get called out this week, doesn't he, Carl?
Good.
If he wasn't, he should have been.
So who gets on the bus?
You got Tracy. You got the Platts. You got Asher. You got Steve. You got Cassie. You got Amy. Billy and Todd are there.
Yeah.
I think that was about it, wasn't it?
But just before they're about to leave, Theo comes along.
Oh, yes.
And says, "You're not leaving without me, are you?" And everyone's like, oh, good. He's come. So, on the road, Carla's phoning Ryan, wants to know Lisa's new number. So he sends it to her. She tries to call, but there's no signal. That's the big bad reason why you don't do any business in the Pennines, I guess. From your car. Back at the wedding, Debbie's asking Mary and Christina if they've seen Carl, and he's in a car park, so he's just completely loaded, isn't he? He throws a champagne bottle on the floor and like gets into the car, and she's like, "You can't drive. You've had too much to drink." Gets in next to him, and he does drive off, And through the window, Daniel and Michael see this.
Yes, I think that's right. Yeah.
More than they'd watched that know this happened though, because I think
they're spotted by Kevin, Abby,
Michael and Daniel. But I don't know that anyone's asked Michael and Daniel about this yet.
No, but I don't think that they would at this stage. I don't think that their eyewitness account would really add anything because they saw the same as Kevin and Abby said they saw, and Carl and Debbie have concocted since
that's true,
explanation
actually.
For this. So it's, yeah.
So the gang are on the road. Theo's up there, and Todd is explaining to Theo that he is going home because he feels sick, and Theo doesn't. Well, Theo's like touching Todd, and then Billy looks at the window and in the windscreen. What does he look in? What's that called?
Mirror.
The mirror. Don't touch it.
Rear view mirror.
And they sort of glare at each other.
I think it's more sort of Billy glaring at Theo. I love that.
I thought that's
Billy's delivery of like, don't touch him. I thought this was all part of the we're getting close to the end of the episode. We know that there's going to be a crash happening soon. I wonder what proportion of the viewers were so spoiler free that they had no idea that a crash was happening. And when did you start to realise that it was on its way?
Yeah, but also, how many people had no idea that there was going to be a Corriedale episode following this and just turned it off, and then on Tuesday they were like, what the heck's going on?
Yeah, that's a really
How are they going to
point.
explain any of this? Are they going to do a flash?
Well, I suppose if you'd watched the Emmerdale episode beforehand, you probably would have had a bit of a clue, wouldn't you? Which we did.
I don't know.
I can't even remember much about what happened because the Emmerdale episode ends with Aaron there in the car wrestling the gun from John, doesn't he? And then you see him crash. And then we're going through Corrie thinking, well, who is it that they've crashed into? Is it the minibus? Is it Kit? Is it Debbie and Carl? Because, you just get these final shots in the Monday episode that's building up to this, don't you?
So, Carl and Debbie are in the car, and Carl is like confronting Debbie about the Elaine stuff and the fact she knew and she didn't say anything. She spoke to it before she died and blah, blah, blah.
There are still some unanswered questions there. There's an awful lot of unanswered questions.
He's speeding wildly. Kevin and Abby are in the car chasing after them. Lisa and Becky are in the car.
With Betsy as well, yeah.
I don't know why they're going... Which way are they going?
They're going west to east, aren't they? They're going to Hull, which is in the east.
Yeah, I know, but where's everyone else going? Are they going the other way?
Yeah, everyone else is going the other way. They're all going back to...
But surely the Emmerdale lot would be coming from the same direction.
No.
Well, like, in reality, this hotel is...
Becky and Lisa...
they're going up.
Contrary to what I said in last week's podcast, did spend the night at the Chariot Square.
They're going up.
So they're going up. They're
and
going
else
right
is going
ways.
diagonally down.
Yeah. I think the only people at this stage who are going west to east are... Well, you got Becky and Lisa in that.
Yeah.
You got Carla and Kit. They're going
Right.
that way. And also Tim with Chaz and Liam. Is that right? And everyone else is going the other way.
Right.
No,
because... Yeah, that's right, because Lisa and Becky and Betsy smash into Rob Ron.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
I think so.
It doesn't matter.
Don't spoil it. It's not happened yet.
So Becky and Lisa are in the car, and Becky's like annoyed because somebody's phoning Lisa's phone, and she's like, why is somebody phoning you already? This phone's supposed to be secret. And she says, look, it's Ryan. I gave him the number, and I'll answer it. And she says, oh, Ryan, how is the wedding? And then she listens and she says, understood. Like, you would not say She's not very good at pretending. She should have been like...
There's a lot of police things
Was
that Lisa's
someone
not been
sick
good
in
at
it?
recently.
Was someone sick in a bush?
Understood.
It was great. Right, so then she kind of like just drops the act immediately and she says, stop the car to Becky. And Becky's like, no. And then
Betsy's like, what's going on? Why?
Betsy's in the middle so that she can have a really good screenshot when they all barrel into a car. Betsy's screaming as they realise that they're about to head straight into Corriedale.
Yeah. So that was I thought, a very, very epic enter the episode and lead up to the Coronation Street crossover, did you? Did a suitable job of enticing you to stick around after the adverts for the next epic instalment?
I was going to watch something else, but you said we had to watch Corriedale, so...
Yeah.
No, I was most excited going into this about what the theme tune was going to be.
You even put a Twitter poll up, didn't you?
I did, and there wasn't one. But there was On the Other Side by Travis at the end, which I thought was a very good choice.
Oh, I thought Slide was a brilliant choice. I don't think I appreciated it so much the first time. I do really like that song. I don't know many Travis songs, but I do prefer it to Why Does It Always Rain on Me, which I think is somewhat overrated. But if you look at the lyrics, so they're talking about...
It's really
the grass
good.
is always greener on the other side. I mean, if it was a crossover with Emmerdale, that would work even better.
No, you mean EastEnders.
EastEnders, sorry.
Yeah.
Not that they've got any grass on EastEnders, have they?
No.
And then it's talking about cars in there. We all may live, we all may die.
Yep.
It was a really, really clever choice. It was
Corriedale.
super clever. I loved it.
Now, they did the Corriedale behind the scenes, and at the end of it, they did do a mashup of
Oh gosh, yeah.
of the theme tunes, and it became quickly apparent why they didn't try to do this for the intro.
Do you think that they commissioned somebody to do it,
I
and then
really
they had it in, and it's
genuinely-
like, oh, we'll use it for the ITV3 thing?
I genuinely think they went, let's just see what it sounds like. And they went, no, this could never be used for anything. It just won't, they just don't go together. There's just no way to put them together.
No, they really didn't fit
Not
together.
even John Williams could do anything with that. Or Danny
Danny
Elfman.
Elfman, the other famous
The other guy.
composer.
There's
for
only
TV.
two, of course.
Well, I would also like to give a shout out to Howard Goodall as well. I don't know whether he still does stuff anymore. He did all the comedy greats, didn't he?
Who?
Rick Dibley. Howard
Oh.
Goodall. Red Dwarf.
I'm sorry.
Anyway, very epic end to the episode, lead up to Corriedale, and it was so much fun being able to watch the two soaps beforehand. And especially with Emmerdale ending the way it did, who have they crashed into? Even this one, it's like, don't know exactly who they've crashed into. I suppose it makes sense that it was going to be Lisa and Becky at the end, but we just spent the whole of Corriedale, didn't we, saying, when's everyone else going to turn up? Who are they going to crash into?
This is the first big crash on Corrie.
Is it?
Emmerdale's done one.
Emmerdale did the hot and bypass crash, which I still think was probably better.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been plenty of people hit by cars.
There's been multiple car like, couple of characters smashing in, a couple of characters, whatever. But I don't...
Nothing on this scale.
Nothing to this. And I think in the...
Although, I guess the minibus crash when they were dangling off the side of the cliff. Do you remember the Underworld party? When was that? 10 years ago or so?
Right. What was that, though?
What do you mean, what was it? It was a crash.
Yeah, I know it was a crash, but I'm saying multiple car... So who are you saying?
Well, no, the people just ran them off the road, but it was still
an
epic road stunt.
I'm saying, yeah, I know, but I'm saying multiple car crashes. This is like, all you can do with this is just put more cars next time.
Well, you suggested as well doing it in the light.
Well, I was thinking about this. I think, was it a short I said this?
I don't know.
Because in the 2 episodes before, Emmerdale and Corrie obviously set mostly during the day, and you get to see these beautiful epic shots of the gorgeous Yorkshire Dales and the rolling hills and the countryside, and
I think this was in the Corriedale immediate reaction that you said.
Golden hills and beautiful sunlight and trees and winding roads and country lane. It's just beautiful countryside, and you didn't see any of that in the Corriedale crash because it was dark. It was pitch black, which makes sense because it gets like that about 4:30 in the afternoon. And I was complaining and saying, it would have been really nice, a bit more epic, if you could see what was going on better, and also you could see in the distance this beautiful country. But I think they wouldn't possibly have been able to do it because I think a lot of it was filmed in studios.
I don't think a lot of it was. I think bits of it will.
More than nothing.
The minibus interior was filmed in studios.
They would have had to have had a volume wall or something as well to portray that if they were going to do it inside of a
maybe.
And also I think we haven't listened to it, but I know that On the Sofa talked about the Corriedale stuff, and I think the road is part of the Emmerdale. The road that they crashed on, I think it's somewhere in the Harewood estate.
Oh, is it?
I think it is.
I didn't think it was.
It's not a real road, is it?
I don't know.
Why on earth would it be a real road? We're just going to shut off the M25.
Well, it wasn't the M25,
Well,
was it?
I know it wasn't, but they're not going to shut off an A road, are they?
I read somewhere
There's
that
only
Ian
one road
McLeod
between
wanted...
Manchester and Hull, Michael. They can't shut it off just for Corriedale.
I read somewhere that Ian McLeod wanted to use an actual motorway but couldn't get it, but I don't know whether somebody was just joking or not.
Well, they probably do have somewhere that they can film.
Well, it doesn't matter.
It's just a road.
The behind-the-scenes stuff is all quite good. If there's anyone that hasn't watched that yet, because you had your ITVX, how they made it, whatever, that came in at 9 o'clock on Monday, and that had a middle bit between the two interviews, which was maybe 5-minute segment on sort of his and behind the scenes filming. But if you go onto Corrie or Emmeradale's YouTube channel, you can watch the full cut of it, and it's like 15 minutes of how they made this, and on that you can see a little bit more, and it helped me get a better idea of where everything was, like with one of the cars that apparently went into a field, and I didn't even particularly notice that when I was watching it. I don't know how much detail we want to go into the actual Corriedale episode for, considering we did talk at length about it on Monday night. I suppose just having a quick rundown of the main points.
We didn't really talk about the actual plot, did we?
We didn't talk about the actual plot. It was just jumping here and there about what we thought of things. But I don't know, you said because you were on live tweeting duty on Monday, you didn't get much opportunity. Well, as much opportunity as you would have liked to have eyes on screen. Did you gain any more appreciation of it watching it the second time round?
Yeah, because I think I asked you some like really obvious questions, like why is that happening, and you were like, "What do you mean?"
When on the first
when
watch?
I was like, why is that? Or like I did totally miss some. I can't remember what it was that I missed, but I totally missed a big part of it. So I just want to quickly say, it was interesting the pacing of it of the Coronation Street viewer, because the beginning of it was fantastic because it was all weighted towards stuff that was going on in Coronation Street. Then it gets to Rob Ron and John Sugden and Aaron and whatever, and they're all running around and proposing to each other, and it suddenly lost momentum because I'm like, I don't, I wish them well, but I'm not even going to send them a card, honestly. So I'm not really that bothered if they get married or not.
I read, interestingly, because when we were watching this, I thought, Corrie's come off really well here. I asked you about the Corrie to Emmerdale ratio on the reaction, and both of us agreed that it felt more Corrie-centred. But the general reaction that I've read online is that Corrie was shortchanged, and it felt more like an Emmerdale episode that Coronation Street people happened to be in. So I don't know. I guess different people took different things away from it, but yeah, like especially the first part of it, like you said, felt very, very Corrie-centric until some of the Emmerdale people turned up. But anyway, I was left incredibly satisfied by Corriedale, in terms of how much exposure Coronation Street got. But I will stand by the fact that I wish that there had been more surprise twists, because there weren't really many, were there? Even at the end of the episode, when you had David having his seizure on the end, and I think I probably even said in the reaction, like, he's going to be fine the next day, it'll turn into nothing. And it really, really did.
He can't drive for 12 months.
Yeah, apart from that, literally nothing came of it. It was just, we were watching it, you go on.
I cynically said I think they literally just did this so they could have a really nice shot of Charity, Dingle and Shona screaming in the hospital to make you think something really bad has happened.
Yeah.
But really, Shona was just like, I'm screaming on Twitter.
Yeah, it's...
Do you want to hear some... Are you...
Yeah, you've been tapping away on your phone. I'm very interested to find out what exactly you've been finding.
Do you want to hear some facts about the road?
Yeah.
So, they mentioned this many times, that there was a closure on the main road, the M62, okay? And this is why everyone gets diverted to this back road.
Right.
Okay, and apparently this came from Ian McLeod, who used to drive along this road, I guess, because of going between Emmerdale and Corrie, I assume.
Yeah.
And he hates it.
So it is a real road?
No. The whole thing... No, of course it's not. The M62 is a road, but it wasn't filmed on the M62
okay,
because they said, if you listen to what I just said, that it was closed.
I know.
They said that over and over again. So why would what do you think they filmed it? They closed the road in real life to film it there.
Well, they might have done, because it's very important crossover.
So, sorry, this is culture. I don't understand why you're moaning.
Go on. For 3 weeks, yeah.
For 3 weeks they complained.
Yeah. Go on, what else?
No. It was filmed on a disused road in Harrogate.
Oh, so it's not a place that we can visit? Can't do a little pilgrimage.
I don't know if it's connected to anything. We could walk to it.
Oh, I suppose so. Okay. Any other facts?
This is according to the olden times.
Any other facts to drop on me?
No. I mean, I've just read. There's a very interesting Wikipedia article about Corriedale and about how it came up. About how many times soaps have mentioned each other, which is quite interesting. Apparently, the first time that Coronation Street was mentioned was on EastEnders in 1987, where they mentioned Coronation Street.
Sit down to watch it. Right, look, Corriedale. What happened? There was a crash. There was
the end.
There was a little bit of a recap of what the 2 episodes. It was very exciting. It was kind of cutting between Corrie scenes and Emmerdale scenes, and Aaron there, and John here, and Swala here, and eventually massive crash where you got Aaron's car flipping off the road, Becky's swerving round.
So they didn't flip.
No, they didn't flip over. They were fine. They stayed upright. We are going to attempt to talk about the Emmerdale characters just by dropping their names in. So hopefully this isn't going to be too off-putting to the non-Emmerdale watching listeners here. We were also non-Emmerdale watchers, but we watched it for 2 weeks and we pretty much learned who everyone was, didn't we? I'm very glad we did.
I was surprised when it was revealed that John, who's the man with the shotgun, was related to one of Rob Ron.
Oh yes, he was related. He said Rob's brother or something.
And I was like, why doesn't he fancy the other one? But it's because it's his brother.
Because it's his brother. We knew enough to get by, and I think it was definitely. I mean, you had to watch the Emmerdale, the half an hour Emmerdale beforehand.
I genuinely,
it would have been very confusing if not.
I was expecting them to do more work to make it easier to understand for people that didn't watch both soaps.
Well, they had the recaps at the beginning of the 2, didn't they?
I know, but you would have had to have watched the Emmerdale to get the Emmerdale recap, which I wouldn't. I don't think it worked to make me think, oh gosh, I must watch Emmerdale now. And I also think that it wasn't like everyone was doing their own thing. It wasn't like you were going, oh, I can totally get just from this scenario that this person and this person are having this problem.
Yeah.
You had to have watched Emmerdale first to go, oh, I see. She's there having her granddaughter's baby, but it's not really. It could be Max, but Max now got a pole through the head.
Yeah. Well, it was good enough for us.
Well, yeah, I don't know really how else they could have done it.
We were intrigued enough to watch Tuesday's Emmerdale as well, and we really had to stop ourselves.
Every storyline in a soap is so convoluted that you really cannot boil it down into anything that doesn't sound absolutely, utterly bonkers.
Yeah. So, Aaron and John are flipped. Becky, Lisa, and Betsy are all just a bit out of it, aren't they? Because they've had a crash and they're swirling round. Everyone else is still driving towards them. You got Debbie and Carl. You got Sarah. You got Jacob, and just various other Emmerdale characters. I don't know. Mac and Charity. You got the minibus coming. Everyone's singing that Top of the World song from Debbie's Walking Down the Aisle bit. Todd's just there looking empty. Todd, Gareth Pearce has been superb this week. I've absolutely loved him, but he was a real highlight for the Corriedale episode, to be honest. Then you get Carla turning up, who I was a little bit confused about how she knew what was going on here, because she just was there, wasn't she? And then you see her running down the road going, Lisa, Lisa! And she's got very good eyes to recognise their car in that murky darkness. But she's running up to the Swains. Then the minibus arrives and Carla's like, no, none shall pass. And it swerves round. And I did honestly think for a second there, guys, not hit Carla, has it? I suppose they wanted us to feel that.
It swerves and goes onto one side and Lisa's just there, half conscious, watching this happen.
That was yeah, she is. It's because she is so woozy and out of it, isn't she? She's just there watching. And the same when the minibus arrives, she's just there and she can't move even.
I know, it's kind of horrific. It's like, imagine this happening in real life and all you can do is watch.
Yeah. So the minibus is crashed over. Billy wakes up. We see the other passengers all reacting. David's unconscious. Todd's unconscious as well, I think. I loved how they had it flipped on the side as well. So like you had the passengers on the left-hand side reaching downwards to their companions on the other side. It was very, very well done.
We could have had more of that, I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. Carl's still speeding his way there. And this is the bit where, as we said on the reaction video, did Debbie reveal a deep, dark family secret to Carl just before the crash happened? We still don't know yet. And I am saying, come on. What?
No, she didn't.
Oh, no, I suppose...
They would have mentioned it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It depends whether they've forgotten.
He says to her, there's nothing more to be said. And she says, there is, Carl, there is. And then they just crash.
They have had scenes together since then.
Maybe she was just being dramatic.
They've had scenes together since then where if she had dropped the mega truth bomb that she's actually his mum, they might have brought it up. But she clearly had... What was she told she had? She had a little stroke or something? So she might have forgotten that she revealed it. She had concussion. So
and he was drunk.
And he was drunk. So that they may have said something.
No, and they've just let it go.
Oh, but that was a really good theory.
So they smash into the minibus, and the minibus ricochets into the Swain's car, and Carla runs past it, and then it sets on fire like she's some kind of evil fire witch. Yes.
So this is kind of... Billy was not too bad after... Well, he was pretty bad, but... You know, he's not as bad as he was when he fell off a cliff for the first smash, but the second one, that really did a number on him, didn't it? And then everyone just forgot about him for a little bit. Then you got Kane's car, which comes along. So he's the one that's driving Sarah and Jacob, right, to their honeymoon. Yeah. And he manages to stop without crashing into anyone.
He's like, look, it is possible, everybody. Observe.
But yeah, then Max sails past him because he was chasing after him to reveal it's not your baby. And into a trench. So then,
into a World War I trench.
No.
Yes, it was. It was full of barbed wire and poles.
Full of cherries. And then Sarah and co, not Sarah Louise, Emmerdale Sarah, jump out and run over to the Dinglemobile to find out what's going on there. So then you get Kit going over to the minibus. David's woken up by this point, but Theo's still there with Todd in his arms going, oh. I do, some corner of my heart feels sorry for Theo at points this week. Because he's very, very messed up inside, isn't he? And he's doing a lot of very, very horrible things. Wow. But he still was devastated at the state that he finds Todd in. He does love him in a very weird way. You have no sympathy for him.
I heard Hitler was sad at the end of World War II.
He was quite miffed, wasn't he? Yeah. So then you got Kit calling the emergency services. Carla trying to open up the Swain car to get to Betsy, but the car's jammed. Carl is then starting to move, so he's crashed, he's moving, and then he drags Debbie over to the driver's side to try and frame her for being the actual one that was driving. And he gives her a bit of a kiss on the cheek or the forehead or something and says, I'm sorry.
Then he collapses from an undiagnosed heart problem.
Yes, that you hate it when that happens. Just like James. James was there. He was like, I know what this is like, mate.
I'm surprised they didn't kill each other when they bonked.
Yeah, that's very true.
If they got too excited.
Who'd have thought they both had just Debbie or the cleaner, the chariot square. Raphael goes in there one day and he finds them passed out on the bed. He's like, oh, what have I missed here? It's like
they've died and gone to
heaven. So this is the one thing that I've really not enjoyed in the aftermath of Corriedale. The whole, is Debbie getting framed for driving? Is she going to court? Is she going to get sent to prison? It's like, I couldn't be less interested or invested in the peril of Debbie getting sent down.
It's such a frustrating complication.
It really is.
I said this again. It reminds me of Bernie going down over Christmas when Paul was dying. It's like, I don't need this to happen. I literally don't. You're just ruining it. It's not intriguing. No, the story is strong enough on its own without saying, but what if she was sent to prison as well as having dementia? It's like, no, it doesn't. No, we don't want that to happen. I've seen some people very astutely pointing out. I mean, there's plenty of ways. There's not just the scarring on, bruising on Debbie's chest, is there? Which, to be honest, again, I'm just copying everyone's opinions online, I'm sorry. Somebody has said, hang on a minute, wouldn't Ronnie, Debbie's new husband, maybe see her in the buff at some point and notice she had bruises? Yeah, but he's not... she didn't marry him because he's smart. No, I suppose that I can't remember whether he was there when Kevin was asking her about the bruises. But also... I genuinely think I am stupid. I don't think I would put that together myself. Would you? No, I don't think I would. Maybe not. But also... Carl, as the driver, is going to have his seat pushed quite much further back than Debbie would have. But I think that they would probably have moved all of that. I don't think they're going to investigate. I think everyone's assuming. Yeah, everyone's assuming that they would have investigated this, like they didn't know what was what was happening. There's so many other things. They don't investigate to see if you're lying, if you've confessed to something.
I mean, something's going to happen in the end, isn't it? Because there's no way that Debbie's going to be left to go demented in jail. So she's going to get away with it. Nothing there's to get away with. She's going to be let off at some point.
If they're suspicious, yeah, they're probably going to look into it a bit more. But there's literally no reason for them to try to find evidence to prove her confession is correct.
I suppose it makes it easier just to go along with what she's saying, isn't it?
But I also don't know why
Kev's on the case.
Why is it all being pinned on her? Because it wasn't even her. It was the
well, yeah, I know. It was the Swains. Was it in the pub today when Theo was saying, "Oh, that Debbie, I'm going to have a strung up for what she did." But yeah, it literally, she was just there afterwards.
So who crashed into the?
It was Aaron and John crashed into the Swallow-mobile.
Yeah, and then Billy crashed into them, and who crashed into Billy? Was that?
That might have been Debbie and Carl, possibly.
I think she's being besmirched.
I think she totally is.
I think
it's fine. Happened to me.
It's totally fine to drive drunk if you're Carl, because what could he have done? There was already a crash when he got there.
Mm. Anyway, so you got Carl. Oh, that was quite an interesting thing on the making of, because you had Jonathan Howard there with a little handheld camera. So when he was stumbling down the side of the road, he was holding the camera himself on a little stick, on a little selfie stick.
Yeah,
and that's why you got the.
He plays Carl, yeah.
Yeah.
You get the woozy cam.
Yes, the woozy
and
cam.
He dies.
Exactly. He doesn't.
Fine. He does die.
Well, he gets revived, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Then you got John Sugden, Corrie, Emmeradale, shotgun man. Serial killer man. He's walking past Carl and he disappears into the bush. Then you got Asher. She's still woozy as well. Theo calls her over and Todd's still breathing, but he's out cold. So she's like, can't deal with this now. Need to find somebody else to help out. I can't remember who paramedics are trained.
You're supposed to triage whoever's quiet.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Don't go to the people that are screaming. And Todd's looking like he's in a quite bad way.
He's being looked after by somebody. So she's like, no, you don't need my help. Then she goes past Debbie, who's awake. So she's like, Debs, you're all right.
Yeah, well, no, yeah, Debbie, I think Debbie says, I'm fine. So she'd had a little blackout or what have you, and she was kind of out of it, but she didn't need any help. And then she goes over to, is that when she finds
Aaron's car?
Yeah, that's right.
Aaron's like, where's John?
Yeah,
but he's keeping this down the down low because he doesn't, for some reason, it's supposed to be
he does for a bit, but then he tells Kit, and that was the first proper we've got shared knowledge here. Yeah, because Kit's like, what? John Sugden's been here. We've got his poster up on our wall. We've got to do something about this. So I think he then calls that in.
I did like that because it was like, Kit's doing some police work that isn't just him interfering with his neighbours' lives.
Yeah,
he is a real police officer.
You're right. He actually has
a job.
Cases that aren't, because he's kind of the connective tissue in Coronation Street and Emmerdale for the next few episodes, isn't he? Because, well, at least in Emmerdale, as I said, we ended up watching the Tuesday one, and Kit gets quite a few name drops there, doesn't he? The old lanky mank. Who was it they called him that? I don't remember. But yeah, anyway, that was quite good. So
he's like, John Sugden's here.
Yes.
That was quite badass.
So Asher then goes and helps Carl, and I liked her line when Kit was asking her whether she needs any help, and she's like, if you could stop cars crashing into me, that'd be great.
No need for that sass.
So then you got Jay pulling up, who is Bikram, actor, right?
Yeah.
Jay Sharma, Chris Bisson. He's got a van with a dead body inside, but
he doesn't know.
We don't really need to know anything about that at the moment.
Who's that?
That was Ray.
Oh, yeah. Ray is
Ray.
Cecilia's.
Then you got another man with the mysterious hooded stranger driving it. The person who turned out to be Graham
Proctor.
What's his name? No, that's a Corrie.
If
only.
Graham Dingle or Tate.
No, I can't remember. Doesn't matter.
He was dead 6 years ago. He was married to Kim Tate.
Yeah. I was really gutted. I still am that Corrie didn't have a big reveal from the past.
They delivered two mysterious strangers to us. One of them was a hooded mysterious stranger who's a returning character for Emmerdale, who's Graham. And the other one is a mysterious, beautiful lady who is a character that we have never met before, but she is a Coronation Street character called Jodie.
Yeah, so an Emmerdale character has delivered a new sibling persona into our lives, hasn't she? But she's all mysterious and tied up in the boot, so something's going on there, which, as of the end of this week, we're still none the wiser about what's happening. And you got Steve and Cassie running up to the Dingles car and watching as Jacob smashing a window. Max got something stuck in his arm, and Jacob, who is a trainee doctor or something, maybe, is telling Charity to squeeze her, get a tourniquet. He goes and runs off looking for people's ties. I think he gets them from Kevin. I thought, and I don't think I said this on the reaction episode, that Mike Lavelle was especially good in Corriedale, because he has done an awful lot of just sitting around being Mardy, hasn't he? As we've said many times on the podcast.
He's in a car crash.
I liked how they actually gave him a bit of action during Corriedale. He did a good job. He
gave his tie up.
He did. Maybe the other reason why they had people like Steve and Tracy there was just, even if they weren't necessarily needed for storyline purposes, it was a way of getting, some legacy characters there.
I know, but why bring them out? And then I just think they should have been braver and killed off more than one person. And I think that they made a mistake of making it so obvious it would be the person it ended up being.
Yeah.
Because they made no attempt to hide this whatsoever.
No,
this was like everybody knew this character was leaving. They filmed the funeral. Everyone was pictured there.
We say everybody, but we have seen some people. Some people on our Facebook group and Instagram have said, we had no idea who was leaving. I had no idea who was leaving. That came as a total shock. Especially our abroad listeners. It's much easier to avoid spoilers.
I don't think it is easier to avoid spoilers. I think if you're in a different country, as soon as you get the algorithm hooked in to you on social media, it's the end for you. If you don't use social media, that's the only way of avoiding them.
So anyway, Todd's woken up next. He finally realised, he kind of was like, where's Billy? So Theo has to go in and sort him out. You got Kevin and Abby arriving. You got I'm just looking through the notes. We don't need to talk about all of this because we're going to run long tonight anyway. So Billy wakes up. He's inside the van. He's on his side. He's not looking too great. He's saying the Lord's Prayer because I think he's realised that his number's up. And but then when Theo comes along, he unclicks himself, doesn't he? And obviously we know then that...
Well, they have an embrace.
Yeah.
Because it feels... He believes that Theo's come to rescue him.
He says, "Oh, there's some good in you, Theo." But I loved it. That still gives me little chills. That click of the sound of the seatbelt when Theo puts him back in again. What a git! Wasn't that a git?
There were two very significant clicking noises in this episode.
That's in the handcuffs.
Yeah.
But it was funny, kind of seeing when he does it. He's kind of wailing down there, isn't he, Theo?
Theo's sobbing as he does it and leaves him there.
What do you think? And even when he comes out, he's still... Is it because, literally, I know that what I'm doing is wrong? Because Theo is all about guilt. He had that elastic band twanging on his arm just for self-punishment, didn't he? Yeah. For all those months. And he knows that he's done He's supposed to be a Christian. He was brought up a Christian. He knows that what he's just done there is utterly unforgivable. Definitely breaks at least one of the Ten Commandments.
Well, it's not only that, it's a vicar.
Well, exactly. But... he's getting in the way of him and Todd, he believes. So I do believe that his kind of grief and his anguish is like, I know that I'm doing something terrible here, but
I've got no choice.
Yeah, I believe...
He is a really fascinating character.
He is, because, I mean, so many other traditional soap villains would have done what he did and then kind of made some kind of dry quip about...
Yeah.
It's getting hot in here or something, I don't know. And then he would have walked out with a smirk, but he didn't. He was absolutely disgusted by himself. And we've seen in the subsequent episodes the looks of guilt on his face. And I wonder whether we will see that really eat him up inside, because he is a very guilt-laden person. Yeah. So maybe he'll just end up confessing. Because we said, I think as we were watching it, you said, well, nobody's ever going to know. But he could end up confessing himself, couldn't he? If only he'd been brought up in the Catholic Church, he could have done a proper full-on confession booth confession, couldn't he?
I like characters like this.
Well, Phelan was a separate, because he had a scene where he went to a confession booth, didn't he, Pat Phelan? Do you remember?
Yeah.
When he kind of said about some of the naughty deeds that he'd done, and having somebody with these deep set religious moral values, I suppose, with the urge to confess and the feeling that I don't know whether Theo would even describe himself as a Christian anymore after what the church did to him, but some of the lessons that he was taught as a young boy are still going to be clinging on to him and eating away at him, aren't they?
I love characters like this. It's one of my favourite genres of evil characters. Like Angelo from Measure for Measure. I remember reading that when I was at college, thinking this character is so interesting. It's a character that has these very deep moral, religious rules and whatever rules that they live by, and then suddenly there's a situation where they are challenged in some way and they fail completely to uphold those self-imposed morals, and then they just completely spiral into absolute insanity. And if this is where Theo is going, into some kind of puritanical shame spiral because of all of the thing, it's funny because he obviously was driven to a really bad place by the church imposing this fake morality of being gay as a sin onto him. But then this
and this is the little corner of the church.
Oh right.
Noah's little group.
And then you've got the actual real truly evil thing that he's done, which I hope is gonna bring him shame as well, that he actually deserves, because he didn't deserve it the first time. He was being treated terribly. So I think it would kind of be it's not poetic justice, but it would be kind of interesting to see him. Would he
really
would he overcome that kind of shame in a completely twisted way where he bought into it when it was wrong, but when it's right, he's like, no way, I'm not falling for that trick again, you moral shamers. It's fine to kill your rivals in love.
Well, going back to what we're saying about Phelan, because he had he didn't want to kill. He couldn't bring himself to kill for a while, could he? And then he did, and then he was able. He says it in his speech at the lighthouse to Eileen. I found out that I was pretty good at it. Yeah. And do you think that Theo is going to go down? Is he going? Are they making him the next serial killer, or is it too soon after Uncle Stephen?
Wasn't there another one since? Or am I?
I don't think so. I think we have Phelan and Stephen, and I hope not. But you're right. I think that guilt's going to come and eat him up. It's also a little bit like with what happened with Karen MacDonald. Do you remember when she had because it was later revealed that she was brought up in a Jehovah's Witness family, and then when her mum died, she ended up getting all this guilt and saying that I've led such a sinful life, and she kind of just went off the deep end. Do you remember that? I think that was part of her exit storyline, possibly.
It's very sad.
So yeah, I'm really interested to see where Theo goes next after this. But that's the end of Billy, really, isn't it? He gets hooked back into the seat, and then not many scenes later, the van's exploded, and that's the end of that.
Sad piano music plays.
Yeah, so then it's definitely he's not surviving.
Rob and Joe from Emmerdale, they come in their car.
Oh, is Joe? Oh, you like Joe? He's the posh one, isn't he? He's the one with the beard. He's the one that's kind of like Evil Henry.
Yeah. He didn't want to be there. It explodes in front of them. Everyone's reacting. Debbie appears. They're just staring.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was I really love that shot of Debbie emerging from the kind of the fade, the what's it called, the blurriness, and she's there because Debbie was who this was really all centered around, wasn't it? With her wedding, I suppose. Was there anybody? Maybe
no,
there
not
wasn't.
really. But
I loved how she was the one. It was a bit like Ken standing up after the tram crash.
That's what I was about to say. Like time stops and we get a focus on one character, and then all the chaos returns.
Yeah. Oh, it was
and
great.
Todd realizes
that Billy's not coming out of there, and Theo's there saying he was trapped. He's already got his story straight, hasn't he? Yeah. They have a few little Emmerdale scenes next with Rob and Aaron, don't they? Which basically leads into they're getting married again. But that doesn't really matter for us, so we're going to skip right past that. Then you have Tim arrive, Jem, as if things couldn't get any worse, eh? He's bringing Chaz and Liam back from the murder mystery, but Liam is apparently a doctor or something, so that's very handy. You pointed out that it would have been good if Debbie had invited Dr. Gaddas to the wedding.
Yeah, because that cow didn't.
It's coming up on nearly a year, it must be, since we've even seen her on the show.
I like the way that Tim has got no interest whatsoever in helping anybody. They get out, Chaz and Liam get out the car because they see there's a crash, and he's like, well, I'm a driver, I'm not a crash expert.
Sure, it's not gonna be like it's anyone I know or anything.
It doesn't seem like he actually gets out the car at all, because at the end of the episode, Chaz gets back in the car and he's still sat there, the lazy arsehole. And all of his friends and neighbours are scattered in pieces all over the tarmac, and he's like, well, not my problem. I'm on the clock.
Yeah, I did like it when she get back in and he's like, it's over $1,000 now. Right, where are we up to? You got the mysterious van woman, Jodie, she's starting to untie herself. You got
John's running around with a shotgun. He's about to shoot Rob Ron as they're getting back together again.
Oh yeah, that was quite good.
And he runs away.
Yeah. You got Cassie telling Jacob that Billy's dead, because I think Jacob's like, is everyone okay? And she's like, not really.
Well, he's dead.
And then the shot of Todd sitting cross-legged on the floor was really nicely done as well. This is when Tracy walks past and notices that dear Lisa is about to go the same way as Billy if they don't start moving that car and pronto.
We can't lose another gay character in the same episode. Twitter's going to go mad.
Yeah.
Pick her up. Let's move her out of the way.
Yeah. So this is the let's all band together as a community and carry Lisa, the Heavenly Lisa Angel, out from the path of danger and into safety. So I still stick by what I said on Monday on the reaction cast, that it was a little bit like, oh God, come on.
No, I think it was very deep and meaningful for lots of people for many different reasons. And we've had some people write in very meaningful explanations of why they thought this was such a great moment in television history of people rescuing a previously marginalised person from a marginalised group that maybe would have been shunned before, and they're all uniting as a community to save her from certain death.
I get all of that.
Having left Billy to burn to death in the blazing inferno, they were like, "Oh, I feel a bit guilty about that. We better
do something about this one, eh?" It was very nice, but it was just tipped over onto the twee side.
It was very sweet, and the way they did it too was you got to see an overhead shot of people running towards the car, and then you got to see it being moved.
And it was everyone as well, wasn't
it?
It was
the
women, the men, both soaps. Yeah. I totally see the symbolism of it. I do, honestly. So you got later on, you got Carla stopping Becky. I think it kind of jumps forward a little bit in time at that point, and Becky's about to run off, isn't she? Because she's not supposed to be alive, and people are going to be asking her questions pretty soon. But Becky's like, "Oh, well done, Carla, you won. But do you think you're going to stop me? No way." But then this is when Lisa puts her brilliant plan into action, which is telling Becky to come into the ambulance. And when she did it, I was like, "Oh, come on, Lisa, seriously, what are you going to do now? What have you got to say to her?"
Well, Becky's like, "I'm going," and Lisa's like, "Don't go without saying goodbye."
Yeah. Then she arrests her.
And she clicks the handcuffs on right as Becky's about to kiss her, and it was great.
That was good. As you know,
Get it.
As much as a Becky fan as I am, and I have very much enjoyed watching her, and I was glad to see her turn up again on Friday's episode, I can't deny that was a super satisfying moment.
And then she's like, "No!"
Why on earth? I don't know. Would Lisa have had handcuffs on her?
She did have her handcuff. There was a bit, I'm sure, where she had some kind of pouch that she was wearing.
All right, I'll let him off then. You got the Emmerdale lot chasing after John Sugden into the forest. Kit's there already as well, isn't he? Being the excellent police officer as he is. But then he gets clobbered around the head by John.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, is this another death?" No, it's fine. He's okay. Carla's stretched into an ambulance. Shona seems to be having a baby on the side of the road. Debbie's totally out of it, isn't she? She's all a bit woozy when she's being asked what's going on. She says, "Oh, I just ripped my frock. I got married." And Kevin is very narked about the fact that Carl is saying that Debbie was driving, because he knows that wasn't the case whatsoever. Kane gets shot. As Coronation Street fan, we don't care about this. Kip gives chase because he's woken up again. Then you get this scene with Steve thinking he's seen Vikram, which I think I'm the only person on the internet who seemed to have a problem with that, because everybody else I've seen saying it was the best part of the episode.
He's like, I thought I saw someone I used to know.
It was just a bit too fourth wall breaking, and I thought that Coronation Street had done both teams had done such a good job of making this feel like a natural crossover of characters without going there, hey, we're doing a crossover, for this to just spell it out a little bit too on the nose. They didn't need to.
It was cheesy.
It was cheesy.
It's the same.
Anyway, just a moment. Then you get what's going on. Jodie's running through the woods. She crashes straight into a tree. That was hilarious. And that's the end of the nighttime outdoor shoots, because we cut to Hotton Hospital, Hotton General, where you got Kevin standing over Carl, accusing him of lying about the driving, and he says, now you're gonna ruin the remaining years that Debbie's got left, like you ruined mine. And I can't remember if this is the last time that we saw. I think that was the last time that we saw Kevin with Carl together, before we see Carl having his cardiac arrest later.
Yeah.
And we thought, has Kevin done something to Carl? But no, apparently not. He didn't. But he said he was going to.
Should have done.
I think he said on Tuesday, didn't he? I was going to, but then you started having your own beeping session yourself, so I didn't need to. You got the Carla and Charity lift scene, which we both said we loved on the crossover reaction episode. The bad coat jibe from Charity towards Becky, still epic.
And Charity definitely comes on to Carla, and Carla looks a bit scared. Like,
I didn't pick up.
Yeah, she really. You watch it again, she's really like, hey, if this Lisa girl don't work out, come to Emmerdale. And
maybe that partly explains Carla's reaction to the rest of the week then, because she's not jumping
like,
straight into bed like Lisa.
I've got options. I don't need to hang around with you.
You better beg Lisa, because you're not the only woman that's flattered her eyelashes at me this week. Just saying. Yeah.
And she's pregnant now, but she won't be pregnant for very long.
Speaking of not being pregnant, Shona's waters break. David falls over and he has his epileptic fit. And then you have... It kind of switches over to Emmerdale, really, doesn't it? Because that's when you have Kane being revealed to having cancer.
I hated this.
Graham turning up.
That was such a sad... I was like, I'm so glad it was Emmerdale. Sorry, Emmerdale fans.
Yeah, as soon as they started to say something, sorry, we found a lump, I was like, God, don't
Corrie,
go there.
Not
Another cancer story on Corrie, no. You got Ronnie arriving, you got Summer, Sarah Louise arriving, you got John dead on the forest floor, you got...
That was disappointing.
Why?
Well, that turns into an Emmerdale story about who killed him.
Yeah. And I definitely stand by what I said on Monday, that Emmerdale seemed to be a little bit more exciting in terms of... Bombast, yeah, and twists, and hey, guess what next?
So John Sugden died, and Billy died, and those were the two deaths, weren't they? And everyone else got through the episode, but whether they will, whether Kane will die or...
Well, I mean, he's not died of the gunshot, has he?
No.
I've seen quite a few people online saying they should have used it as an opportunity to kill more people off.
I really think they should, especially considering that Emmerdale... Which I still don't know if Bear's dead. People saying maybe he's not dead. But Ray and Celia died before the episode. Why didn't they wait?
Yeah.
It reminds me of what happened in Corrie last year. We had so many people dying, and then we had, I can't remember what it was, but I was like, why couldn't we have killed everyone off in this thing?
Yeah. But oh well. Guess they just didn't want to. It's partly Corrie's fault, but it's not really. It's not like they said, there's going to be multiple fatalities, did they? They said, not everyone's going to come out of it alive, and that's the truth. But yeah, because we knew, lots of people knew, that Dan Brocklebank had finished filming around about this time, because, who was it that posted a picture, a selfie? Was it an extra or a director or somebody that posted a selfie on Coronation Street back in the autumn, and it had some flowers outside Billy's flat in the
Right.
I can't remember who it was now, but...
That made it obvious.
Literally,
But then they also filmed got Pap doing the funeral.
Yeah, there was... everybody knew, unless you were really 100% spoiler-free, you knew that Billy was going to die then. And so the fact that Corrie didn't have any other shock deaths, it was just a little bit disappointing.
I don't know who I would have wanted to have lost out of that lot.
Well, this is true. Out of everybody that was there...
Theo?
Yeah, I mean, we could have sacrificed Theo, but the story doesn't feel like it was over.
Becky?
And Becky. But everyone else, they had some really, really strong characters there. A lot of legacy characters.
Surprised you didn't say Kit.
Oh, yeah, of course. Kit could have
So
definitely
I don't want to lose Kit.
But I think it would have had to have been like a proper major. I suppose with the Emmerdale lot, with John Sugden, and he's not a long-term character, is he? So Corrie's lost somebody who's been on the show for 11 years, and he's just been on there for a little bit.
And he was a villain anyway, so you knew that his time was his days were numbered.
Yeah.
So why didn't they kill off Ray and Celia in the episode? I'd be really interested to know.
Yeah. Well,
maybe the actors were like, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to be in that.
That's basically it for Corriedale. We did have that scene with Chaz and Tim in this cab afterwards, and somebody's pointed out to us since, very true, that when Tim says, "Oh, you'd never heard of it," when she asks where you're from, he has just picked her up from the Chariot Square in Weatherfield, so maybe she does know, but maybe you could read it as you've never heard of Coronation Street. I still liked it. I thought it was a lovely ending. It was a really, really good job. And again, I'm sorry if it's felt like we've skipped through it, but we have already spoken about it this week, and there's a whole lot of Coronation Street still to come. Did you want to say anything about the resetting of the storylines here? Because this is something that we've since discussed, isn't it?
It felt like it didn't really do... What do you think? It felt like a lot of the stories built up to Corriedale, and then they kind of like ended or reset themselves to what it was like the week before, because Carl's going to leave the week before. He decided he's going to go to Germany, and now he's not anymore. The money stuff is over with.
Todd's still being
Todd was
manipulated and abused by Theo.
Todd decided he was going to leave right before Corriedale, and then because of Corriedale, now he's back with him again. Yeah,
I mean, I suppose the biggest development that's come from it maybe is Jodie. Which is
baby's born, and you've got Becky arrested,
and obviously Billy's dead, but
Billy wasn't in a story.
No, he wasn't in a story, so I don't know whether a story's going to spring out of it. Like, are we going to have a big summer story come out of this, or Bernie, or people that were close? I don't know.
It did fit. It did, like, I was comparing it. You're always going to compare it to the tram crash, and the tram crash created storylines, but it feels as though this didn't, or did it? I feel like it was more apparent at the tram crash, like, oh, this changes everything.
Yeah.
Whereas this was like, that was inconvenient, and it's kind of set some people back.
Yeah, I would agree.
In a track where I wanted them to go forwards, but some things did develop out of it. But I don't.
I was hoping that there'd be so big twists that it's like, wow, I can see where 2026 is going to go now, but I'm not necessarily feeling that at the moment.
Yeah, it's just the same stories again, but with like an extra thing that's happened.
Yeah.
Right, so
including baby.
Baby
for Platts.
Are you too sick to carry on reading?
No, it's fine. We kind of both sort of shared. We kind of did our own little mini crossover for the synopsising of Corriedale, didn't it? It's your turn again. So,
thank you.
Show me the mummy, Gemma. What's been going on with David and Shona since Corriedale?
So, she was having troubles in the middle of wherever we said they filmed this.
Yeah.
Harrogate. And on Tuesday, she gets told they found a small placental abruption and they need to get the baby out. And unfortunately, and David's fine. Don't worry about it. And they're worried about it, but they know that the brilliant surgeon, insert name of real person here, is going to be
Mr. Lee.
They're going to take her to Weatherfield, and Mr. Lee will be there, and he'll do the surgery, and it will be fine. And Mr. Lee is a real person.
I saw that online, but then I wasn't able to find confirmation of it. Have you found anything?
No.
I saw somebody saying that this was a real person.
Well,
but I'm actually not sure whether
it doesn't really matter because people like this do exist.
Yeah.
Right. So,
Wednesday's episode
starts
loved it.
Very strangely with a man we've never met before being woken up, and he answers the phone and he says, "Where's Weatherfield again?" And he says his name, and his name is not the same. His name is Vincent Harper, which is not the same as Mr. Lee.
This is such an intriguing beginning to the episode, because Tuesday's episode really was kind of like Corrie's back to normal, isn't it? They had a few little bits of, let's lay down flowers for Billy, but it really was business as normal in terms of flitting between different stories. And I was completely under the impression that that was it for the special episodes of the week, and I did not. Did you know that there was a thing like this was going to happen on Wednesday? So when this program starts, and like you say, mystery man, who on earth is that? And people have since commented, I've seen on our Facebook group, that so many Doctor characters on like Casualty are introduced in a very similar way, getting woken
That's
up
funny.
to and it also reminded me a little bit of when the Bill started and you got Jim Carver waking up for his first day on the beat. I loved it. I was hooked in immediately.
Yeah, this was interesting, and I think this is a good way to prove the reason for the format of half hour.
Yeah, it was. This was an absolutely superb half an hour snippet of Coronation Street Live. I didn't need any more than that. It was slow enough that it didn't feel like mega hectic and fast paced. It was there was brilliant dialogue all the way through. But this first scene, it wasn't needed whatsoever. And it wouldn't have normally happened, would it? You don't see characters getting up or waking up ever in Coronation Street. But it added just that lovely little bit of intrigue. And also, of course, when he turns up later on at the hospital and David has his little argy-bargy with him, it's like, oh, I know what's going on here. I can't praise it more.
So David and David are looking at the Soggy Billy photos. I thought this was hilarious that as soon as Billy's died, the residents of Coronation Street are like, well, I don't need this photo anymore. I'm just going to put it outside.
In the rain.
I assume this is where the bin people are going to take all this stuff. Because there's like pictures of Billy, and it's obviously from lots of different people's houses.
I don't know why so many people would have photos of Billy.
Why do they... Number one, why did they have pictures of Billy looking suspiciously like they were professional headshots? And number two, why did they suddenly decide they didn't want them anymore?
That's what you do, though, isn't it?
No, it isn't. When someone dies, you're like, I want to find that picture of them so I can look at them and cry. You don't go, I don't want this anymore. I'm going to put it outside with the flowers.
You do. Don't remember when Princess Diana died and there were Princess Di photos all over the place. I just think it was unusual that so many people...
There weren't that many.
Everyone
knows what she looked like.
I don't know about you, but I don't have any pictures of our neighbours or the local vicar in our house here. But hey,
you don't even have a recent picture of me if I died. What would you put down? Baby picture.
Yeah.
Right, so yeah, all the reject pictures of Billy are all just gathering moisture in the outside of his house. Bernie is in the cafe. She don't know early because she can't sleep, and Billy's on the front of the Gazette.
That was another great shot. Sorry, I will keep interrupting you because I love this episode so much.
Why don't you just read it?
No, because I
you like to interrupt.
I like to interrupt you. Yeah, that shot of David looking over at the cafe, like with it. He just has... I can't even describe his look. It's just kind of like a...
Top lad look.
Just a top lad sort of look. Intrigued, but also dead-eyed, deadpan. I don't know, because he's obviously got his Jack Nicholson look, hasn't he, when he's being evil. But this is... Oh, I loved it. And he just turns over and looks at the cafe, and I'm left thinking, oh, what's he seen? It was only just the cafe in the end, but so clever.
So Billy's on the front of the Gazette, dead. And they're chatting about Shona and the baby. And he tells her that there's going to be 30 people in this operating theatre. There's a whole team for the baby. There's a whole team for Shona. The baby's going to get delivered, but they won't cut the cord straight away. And the baby's going to get a breathing tube. And then the cord's going to get cut. And it felt like a lot of information for somebody who's not actually going to be doing any surgery. Which is me.
Made it seem like quite the ordeal, didn't it?
Yeah. So this man that we saw wake up, Vincent Clare, comes into the cafe, and he's just arrived from Bristol, and for some reason this cafe's on the way to the hospital, and he picks up the paper and he goes, "Oh, it's sad that this guy's dead because he was gay."
Well, he says...
There's not very many gay vicars left now.
Yeah, he says something like that, doesn't he? Yeah.
And she's like, what do you mean? How do you know he's gay? And she's very suspicious of him, and she kind of treats him a bit like crap. And he kind of like sort of gets the hint. And at this point I was saying, is he a journalist? Has he come to...
You did, didn't you?
Because he knows the story, and he's been dispatched to Weatherfield for some reason. Because we didn't know at this point that Mr. Lee was in wherever, Romania, dealing with a leaking flat.
No. Do you reckon that's what it is?
He's not only is he the world's foremost authority on thoracic surgery, but he's also a really good plumber.
Oh, so Dorian can go
it's
back
the same
home
thing.
then.
It's all just pipes.
It's true. Yeah. It just leaves me wondering, like, is this the last we've seen of Mr. Harper? Because there's an answer... Isn't there? And answer
No, I don't
questions
think
about
so.
why he knows this about Billy. But he felt very much like a very classic one episode character. Not that you get many of those in Coronation Street these days.
But anyway,
So when they go back to the cafe at the end of the episode, I thought that was when he was going to reveal to Bernie, actually, I went clubbing with him back in the days. Because he mentions to somebody during the episode, oh yeah, I used to go clubbing when my clubbing days were over.
Well, you're just telling this the whole story.
Sorry.
So at the hospital, Shona's being told that the other guy's on holiday or gone somewhere else because she wasn't due yet.
He's saving the world somewhere else, in a third world country,
who
probably.
is a student of this mega man, is going to do it. Meanwhile, David's not supposed to drive, but he does anyway, and he gets into the car park and he has a moan at this guy, Vincent.
Yeah, he backs into the space before him.
And so they have a little argument, and then he rushes to Shona's room and comforts her. And it turns out, this bloke turns up, hello, I'm Mr. Harper, I'm a leading ENT specialist, and blah, 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 I can do this, no problem at all. Mr. Lee is actually crap. I'm the best at this. Don't worry, he's just a hack. And David is like, he's cowed a little bit because he's had a go at this guy already and kind of made his day a bit crap.
I loved it when he's like, by the way, you've left your lights on to David just to make him feel
even
even
worse. And Shona's like,
worse.
why on earth did you drive? And then they wheel off. In between all of this, Jodie is hanging around.
So we did actually mention that just then, did we? But there was the clue on the Corriedale episode that she and Shona were related somehow because of they keep showing
this bloody tattoo.
Yeah,
and
the tree.
That's the only way you can know if you're related to somebody on a soap is that you both have matching tattoos.
Exactly.
So she steals a rabbit out of someone's bag, a stuffed rabbit, and puts it into the baby.
Puts it into the
baby's room, and then she sniffs her dressing gown. So we're getting clues here. Number one, she's obviously a tea leaf, just like Shona used to be. So where Shona's, changed her ways and now she's on the right side of the tracks.
She's had the classic Corrie redemption arc, hasn't she?
Still not. She was kidnapped. We don't know why she was kidnapped or what she had. Maybe she was being detained because she was being really annoying, stealing stuffed animals.
Even people's bunnies. Well, there's clearly some sort of trafficking thing or something going on, isn't it? Because when Graham appears towards the end of Corriedale, what does he say? Like, I'm ending the contract or something along those lines.
She's gone, I'm ending the contract.
Yeah.
So he obviously had a contract to deliver her to somewhere.
Yeah.
And we don't know where that is.
No, but I've read that character who had been dead on Emmerdale, supposedly, Graham, he'd been cremated and everything, he is now coming back as a regular character in Emmerdale. So I guess that is I think Corrie did tease before the crossover happened that there's going to be some sort of long-lasting bond between the two, and I guess this is it, isn't it? I don't know whether Jodie's going to stay on the programme. It might be a bit of like a Kylie Becky sort of situation where Jodie hangs around for a few years and maybe, hopefully not outlast Shona. But those are the characters that are intertwined. But I assume they'll never see each other again. Are you expecting this Graham bloke to show up in Weatherfield anytime? No. I don't think he will. It was even funny on Tuesday's episode of Corrie that there wasn't a single Emmerdale person in the corridors, considering they'd all been intermingling quite so much during Corriedale.
The other thing it shows about Jodie is that she obviously has an emotional connection still to Shona, and that smell, she wants to smell this, like, to connect herself to her sister.
Yeah, well, she hasn't seen her for... How long has Shona been on the programme now?
Have you been sniffing your sister's dressing gown
recently? I haven't, no.
And she obviously...
But I did just see my sister a few weeks ago. She's not seen Shona since, 2016 at the earliest?
Shona clearly does not feel the same way about her, that we find this out.
Yeah.
So, there's lots of waiting. There's lots of, scenes of the surgery.
That was great. We never see that. Not in the same way. I mean, you had when Mason died, you had all the paramedics around him and they were shocking him. But I can't remember there ever being a time when we got to see a character having that sort of surgery on Corrie, do you? It felt very Casualty. And I know that a lot of people are saying, Coronation Street is just the Bill cross with Casualty these days. But that felt really new and unique to me as a Corrie viewer, not a casualty viewer. I loved it. And another point for the half-an-hour episode 1 story, it gives you time for doing this, which totally wasn't needed. Superb.
So David gets told later on, everything's fine. It didn't go exactly to plan, but they had to do a tracheostomy, but it's not permanent. Shona's in recovery. Do you want to see the baby? So it looks at the baby. Oh, very tiny baby, very sad.
It was pretty decent prosthetic, I think, because they
haven't shied away from the fact that this baby has got a massive lump on her neck. I think in the past they wouldn't have shown this,
or they would have, had a blurry bit in the background,
like a little pink blob.
Yeah, they finally improved baby prosthetic technology enough that they could say, yeah, look at this on HD. Even if you've got a massive OLED TV, just look at the handiwork. Look at our craft work here.
I don't think it's a case that they couldn't have ever done it before now.
They've even made it breathe and everything. It's very clever.
Well, so this poor baby is there and she is in her incubator, and David talks to her and sort of strokes her with his finger and tells her that she's loved, and he gets very emotional talking about all the family. Max is in prison, by the way, kid, just so you know. There's a dog that's got my name, but you can call me Dad. Don't call the dog Dad, that's weird. So then Mr. Harper comes in and says, right, in a couple of months, this tube and the site will close up, etc., etc. And David says, sorry, I about the parking. And the man goes, oh, it's my birthday. Bye, see you later.
He has that scene, I think I'm right in saying that the person he was talking to in the corridor about it being his birthday was writer Jang McVerry's sister.
Really?
Yes, because she put on her Instagram this week, oh, it was so lovely being able to write a line for my sister.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Jang McVerry wrote this episode.
I just loved it. Having this moment of kind of forgiveness and between David and Harper. Well, not forgiveness, it was
acknowledgement.
Yeah, actually, you have done a bang up job here, and I was a bit of a git earlier, and Harper was lovely about it. Yeah. Oh,
Vincent Harper.
Fab. Yes.
Well, his name's not Harper, is it? His name's Vincent.
Well, he's Harper. No, he's Harper.
Mr. Harper.
At least David didn't say to Shona, you know what, I've had an idea for a name. Let's call her Vincent. Vincetta.
I was waiting, but I knew that they were going to name the baby after him because I read it online before.
Oh,
I didn't know what his name was. And when he said his name's Vincent Harper, I was like, oh, well, good luck with that one. Anyway,
Harper is in Harper Lee, and not Lee as in Dr. Lee. Mr. Lee.
Right, no. You keep going on about how much you loved it. I don't want to give the impression I didn't love it. I'm just not... you're giving all the praise, so I don't have to. I'm just saying, I thought it was a great episode. Why are you looking at me like that?
I'm not. It was funny because it was the same when we did the short afterwards, wasn't it? I was like, oh my gosh, that was amazing. I was watching it thinking, what is this that I'm watching? This is outstanding stuff. And part of me was thinking, do I like this episode more than Corriedale? And I think Corriedale was obviously epic in its own way, but when Corriedale finished and when that Travis started strumming away at the end of Monday's episode, there were these little niggles in my head going, oh, I wish they'd done this, or I wish they killed someone. Oh, is it only Billy that died? Or but it was great. But with this, I was like, I could not have changed a single thing about Wednesday's episode.
If the baby had exploded, that would have made it on a par for me.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
Although I'm gonna say I don't love the name Harper for the kid.
It doesn't feel like a name. A first name.
We all have our preferences when it comes to naming. It's a bit like, you got a cat. Are you going to give it a human name, or are you going to give it a cat name like Tiddles or Mittens or what have you?
Pebbles.
I don't. If I were to have a child,
I wouldn't call it Pebbles.
If I were to have a child, and I don't think that's likely to happen now, but having watching Coronation Street, they apparently pop up out of the woodwork whenever.
You will have a massive family.
I wouldn't want to name a child after something that is a surname because it is different. Not my taste.
Cool.
So, but Harper Platt, eh?
Harper Platt sounds terrible. Harper Platt, no.
But it's funny because with it being a Platt,
Harper
you
Platt.
think, is this going to go on and be iconic?
It sounds like half a Platt, doesn't it? Half a Platt. What do you mean half a Platt? No, Harper Platt. Harper Platt what? What do you mean? It's like Hairy Platt. They're not good at naming their young children.
It's interesting because the Platts are obviously such a dynasty on Coronation Street, and some of the biggest, most beloved characters with like Sarah Lou, Nick, Gail, and David. But none of the Platt children yet have quite got there into iconic status, have they? No. Whereas even with, like the Webster clan, for example, you could tell by, fairly early on that Rosie and Sophie were going to be, here's a proper Corrie legend kids, they're great. But with none of the Platts, we're quite there yet. Obviously, Lily's just been recast. Max has lost his chance because he's off. Harry, they can't even decide which actor they want to play him from one year to the next. But
maybe it's all going to change with Harper.
Is Harper going to be the breakout
Saviour.
Platt kid?
Yeah, maybe.
Were you under any? Did you think at all this week that this baby was not going to make it?
Yes.
Did you?
Yeah, I was thinking, like, even on Wednesday, I was thinking, when I heard, because I knew you didn't, going into Wednesdays, that it was going to be a single storyline.
Yeah, no, I'm glad I didn't.
And so when I heard that, I was like, oh, that sounds like the sort of thing where they kill the baby.
That would have been tragic.
I know.
There's that there way saying, oh, you upset that only one character died on Corriedale, did you? Well, how about this?
How about this, you savage assholes? How do you like it now we killed the baby?
I think that they got the tone of this, the whole of this pregnancy, really, really right. From the joke of David when he finds the pregnancy kit and he thinks that it's Betsy's, then he thinks it's Lily's, and then you have all the lovely dovey scenes with him and Shona on the sofa, and you think, oh, this is just fab. This lovely couple who are perfect for each other. I think better than Kylie and David. I know not everyone agrees with that one. And we thought, but is something going to go wrong? It feels like everything's too perfect. And then you have there's the lump. You get the Peep Show episode. And you think, oh, there's the thing that's going to go wrong. Oh, look, it is going to be miserable. But for them to not keep with that, and actually, obviously the baby's not out of the woods yet. But I think that there's a very, very, very strong chance that this baby is going to be all right now. And I think that was a perfect example of them taking you on an emotional roller coaster or a ride where you're genuinely chuffed for David and Shona 1 minute, heartbroken for them the next, terrified that something's going to go wrong another, and then you kind of get to the other side and it's like, everything's okay, it's turned out all right. And I kind of left Wednesday's episode just feeling really happy and in a good place that everything was going to be okay for them. And then Jodie comes along and who knows what she's going to add to the mix.
One thing I like about David and Shona in this storyline is their resilience. And there's definitely a lot to be said for, number one, the dramatic portrayal of people struggling to cope with things. Because that obviously gives, more drama. and also representing mental health struggles and showing people that it's okay and it's perfectly normal to have depression or anxiety or PTSD or any of these things that Coronation Street carries as panic attacks, whatever. It's perfectly normal and it's survivable and you can overcome it. But also I think having two characters be so resilient and so strong in their relationship that they kind of can overcome almost anything together is really refreshing and actually quite lovely.
Yeah. Those two, the chemistry is so off the charts that I think that they the fact that they're having them going through everything and be resilient. And of course, they did have the bit of a fallout where Shona was saying, no, we're going to have this exit procedure. And David said, no, I don't trust it. But they've come through it.
Exactly. And it wasn't a massive deal.
No.
It was refreshingly mature in a way.
Yeah. They're great. They're so
That's
great.
Obviously
Corrie
not
needs
to
keep hold of
disparage any other character or mental health struggles. I'm just saying that it's quite uncommon on Coronation Street and soaps in general.
Yeah.
Because it just doesn't tell a story. But these two are very good together. So anyway, so later on they're talking, Shona and David, about the baby and
Is this just when the naming happens?
No. She says that Billy's looking down on her today because you pointed out to me that when Shona first came onto the show, she lived with Billy for a bit.
Yes, was it maybe it was Thursday's episode when she's looking at the Billy pictures and crying, or maybe it was this one, I don't remember. But yeah,
she does cry.
She came into the show and she was staying in Billy's house for a bit.
Yeah.
So I think some people were really confused about why she was so upset.
Like,
Everyone's sad about Billy dying. But I don't think they really lent into it too much
No.
over her time on the street. But yes, they supposedly had quite the bond.
Even though she was not there for any point for him when... like she could have rocked up when David was coming to pull stuff.
Yeah,
See how Billy is. Anyway, Vincent Harper goes back to Roy's Rolls. It's lunchtime, but Bernie's closing up because she's not feeling it today. And she sort of opens up to him about why she was upset earlier. And she says, Billy was my son-in-law and he was a good man. And she gives him his pie and a cup of tea on the house, which was an onion and cheese pie, which is not a great lunch on your birthday when you just saved a baby. But he asked for it.
Well, he's probably just saving himself for his blowout birthday tea.
What do you think he's going to have as fancy doctor who lives in Bristol? What would you have if you were a fancy doctor who lived in Bristol?
I don't know, but I kind of imagine him having something fishy.
Yeah, that's what I thought, sushi.
Oh no, I was going for like Stargazy pie. I know that's Cornwall.
Stargazy pie, because he lives in Bristol. We live in Southampton. We don't eat
No, I know.
fish.
I don't know. I just picture him having something fancy like that. I don't know.
You think Stargazy
But yeah,
pie
he
is
has to
fancy?
surgically extract all the fish heads or whatever. If you don't know what Stargazy pie is, don't Google it. You might.
You might feel sick.
Yeah, not after you just eaten.
Right, so he leaves. He doesn't say anything.
He doesn't say, I used to know Billy.
But we find out, like you said previously, that he had been a clubber, and so you just assume...
I really want to know.
Did he say that he... anything like, I'm going home to my husband or anything? I can't remember.
Don't think so.
By the way, I'm a gay doctor. Do I get a discount for this pie?
A mystery man who swans in.
Well, the presumption
There's no
is
reason for him to come back even to the other side of the country.
He knows Billy.
Yeah.
But
Will he turn up at the funeral?
He doesn't say this to Bernie, even though it would have been quite nice of him to have mentioned it as she was opening up to him. Anyway, she then gets a message from Shona saying, look at me, I'm on the way to meet my daughter, which again, it feels like a missed opportunity that she didn't then realise that this is the guy. Anyway.
The cast list on this episode was so small, wasn't it? Because you had there's those few scenes in the bistro with Nick and Toya. Maybe that's my one note for the episode, that it didn't feel like that was particularly added much to it.
So the bistro scene?
Yeah.
You didn't write it down?
Didn't need it. But yeah, I'm glad that they had Bernie, because she's... We've seen a real evolution of the character, and she's being, the wise earth mama kind of character that she's evolved more into since her more manic days at the start. And all the stuff we've seen during and after the pool story. I'd want to have a nice cup of tea with her. I think she's good at making people feel better and worthy.
Yeah, but I also like how suspicious she was of him at the beginning. I like that about her. She's very guarded.
Yeah.
So we see Shona meet the baby for the first time, but she's very obviously anxious. And David reassures her, and they talk about the fact they haven't thought of a name. Because Shona's like, I didn't want to jinx it. And then David says, how about Harper? After Harper Lee, my favourite author. Then we also get to see Jodie telling somebody that she is a proud auntie. So we work out that she's probably Shona's sister.
Yeah. Again, the little guy, the man who's like, oh, you're a proud mum. Who's that? It doesn't matter.
Who cares?
But it was a one-off person who had a line. That's what I say. It's like, it felt really un-Corrie-like in so many ways, still grounded in Weatherfield.
Yeah, it felt like they were part of a wider world for a change.
And it didn't feel like, inverted commas, a special episode, did it? Like how they had the Shona and David's perspective, like how they had the Masons episode, like how there wasn't any like the count, the CCTV, the special filming technique or time jumpy woozy for this episode it wasn't like that at all. It was just concentrating on one story.
Yeah, just doing this now.
Just having some surgery scenes and a few extra characters and a guy waking up at the beginning of the episode.
Right.
Maybe when Kate Brooks does run out of ideas for special episodes, she can just do a few more like this.
Well, she hasn't run out of ideas yet, which you will find out at some point. Yeah. So on Thursday, Shona visits Harper again. She sees this little rabbit and she's like, where did that come from? We find out from Nick, Toya, Gary and Maria talking in the cafe that David's going to be suspended from driving for 12 months.
So, how long until David gets behind the wheel again? It was funny. On the ITV Corrie this week, David was suspended. David was in trouble because of, when he drove into the canal during Sarah and Jason's wedding.
Yeah.
he got in trouble for that.
He
'cause
really
was driving when he shouldn't have done. He
he's-
should have learned a lesson then.
Shouldn't have driven into the canal. He also got crashed when he had his first epileptic fit.
And he drove off up that skip and ended up burning and made
Burning-
Anna into a char grilled fishwife.
Yeah, he's a menace behind the wheels.
He really is. He is, isn't he?
Take his licence away forever.
Yeah, shred it.
Right, so Jodie stops David in the corridor, and obviously he has no idea who she is. She congratulates him on the birth and gives him a suspicious look as he walks off. And then Shona's struggling a bit later about how she's going to cope with it, and Jodie watches them as he comforts her through the window. Then on Friday, David and Shona are having a nice moment in the hospital room when Jodie comes in and Shona's like, "Oh my god." And Jodie's like, "Hi, sis." Always makes me laugh. And just so people will come in and they'll like explain their relationship to the person, like, because we don't know. Like, would you ever say, "Hi, sis"?
I think some people do. I mean, it's more natural when somebody says like, "Hi, mum," "Hi, dad."
Yeah, I guess
But there's not
so,
many
yeah.
family members that get addressed in real
Hi
life.
there.
By
Hi,
most
nephew.
people.
Hi, long lost nephew.
Yeah.
Right. So Jodie's...
I'm so glad that this happened on Friday. I was honestly worried that Jodie was going to bugger off and, come back in a month and it was going to be a mystery, because I know she says on Tuesday's episode, "I'm a proud auntie," but it was left in the back of my mind a little bit like, is she? Is she just lying? Is she saying that to excuse herself why she's there? A bit like Auntie Becky, but Becky pretending to be Kim. Or is she a proud auntie as in like, you call a close family friend auntie and uncle.
Yeah.
So I'm glad it was confirmed, and I'm not going to have to speculate it any longer. Friday, yes, she is Shona's sister, who apparently, and I haven't checked this on Corriedale, apparently it has been established before that she has got a sister. Who
Good.
knew? Who'd remembered
Good.
that? Certainly not me.
Not David either.
No,
Jodie
he
says-
didn't know what was going on.
Jodie says, "Oh, I saw you here." And Shona's really weirded out and does not want her to be there. She's kind of cold. She's like, "Sorry that we lost touch. Give me a number. I'm not brushing you off, but I'm really busy at the moment. So can you go away?"
She didn't get her number. She didn't
No,
leave her number, did she?
because
She was
Jodie
gutted.
starts crying and goes, and that's it. And then David's like, "What the hell's going on?"
Do you think that was a bit harsh by Shona?
Well, we don't know why they're not.
Yeah. And there's clearly something major that's happened
Now-
between them.
If she really hasn't seen Shona since Shona came on the show, this Shona is a very different Shona to the Shona she would have known, because Shona was a proper wrong-un, part of a gang. She was a criminal.
Yeah, well, ish, wasn't she? She was involved in Nathan's grooming gang, but she
met
was a
David
victim
by,
of it. But
by
also,
stealing his wallet.
oh, I know.
That's
She
what
was
I
definitely
meant.
from the wrong side of the tracks, but not in the same way as, say, Becky McDonald was. I don't think she was that.
Okay.
But I can't remember. I can't remember the exact nature of how she was involved with
We
Nathan's
don't know
gang.
anything about Jodie. Like, why was she in the back of a van? She's being kidnapped, or what was it? She obviously wasn't there from her own choice.
No.
Where is she not going to go back to where she came from? Is she going to stay in the area? Is she homeless?
Yeah,
Does
I
she
mean,
have
are we to
anybody?
believe that she is part of? She has remained part of this ring that Nathan
Yeah.
and
It'd be
is
really
Curtis's
weird.
gang just Nathan Curtis after all this?
It'd be so weird because it's
No.
so weird that all of the speculation about Becky's gang and April and all of that stuff came to absolutely nothing for Corriedale in the end, because we were all like, "Oh, we got to learn about Emmerdale's trafficking story."
know.
And then it's like, "No, don't worry about it."
There were so many theories, weren't there? Not just like, Tracy's gonna die, but they're both mentioning Hull. What's happening there? And it's like nothing. Nothing really.
They just have a ferry.
Yeah, they just all go up to the northeast. Yeah, you're right. So I don't know. It feels like they got into some dodgy times, but were they both recruited or groomed or whatever into this gang? Shona was able to escape. Jodie feels she's a bit too well adjusted for someone who's been a victim of grooming for the past 7, 8, 9+ years.
My initial wonder is there a drug problem that maybe Shona's like, "I have to completely block you out of my life because you're an addict and you can't be trusted." But then she wouldn't. I don't know. She would have been if she was in hanging around with a gang and they were being controlled with drugs, that wouldn't have been so weird to her, would it?
Yeah.
Like, what made her stop talking to Jodie? I don't think it's going to actually make sense in the canon of Coronation Street that she stopped talking to Jodie once she became a reformed Coronation Street character.
No, they'd obviously been estranged before David met her.
So why...
Does Jodie know... Jodie must know about Clayton, I assume.
Don't know.
It can't have been that long ago
Does she know
since
about
they've
the
seen
ghost?
each other. I'm very intrigued because I love Shona and I want to know more about her backstory.
I know, but sometimes... No, I'm not.
Sometimes it spoils it a little
tedious. Bit. Honestly, sometimes it gets so angsty and tedious.
Was there someone else? I'm trying to think.
I'm sorry to be negative.
No, it's fine. Was there someone else that was supposed to have... Because Shona... Did she grow up on the Paul Robeson estate?
I don't know.
I think she did, and I can't remember whether there was someone else that was supposed to know when she was younger.
I think you're thinking of Carla and Rob.
Maybe. I don't know. I think that David just needs to go down to the Dog and Gun and ask around because somebody there's going to know Jodie, aren't they?
And if he doesn't find Jodie, he might find some drugs.
Yeah. I wonder how long it's going to be before we see Jodie again now. Because I said earlier, I'm glad that she didn't disappear off before the big reveal came. But now the big reveal has come and she's swanned off again, it could well be that we don't see her for weeks. Or she could be hanging around the street on Monday, who knows. But she
depends on if she's like not got anywhere to live.
But she doesn't know where Shona lives, does she?
No, but they always find out. She just followed David home.
She didn't leave her mobile number. I don't know. But yeah, you're right. There's something that's gone on. Because she says, "Oh well, my big sister's in hospital. Of course I'm going to turn up." But this isn't the first time that she's been in the hospital. She has been shot in a box once, lest we forget.
So the question is,
did Shona go to hospital in Leeds after she got shot in a box? Maybe she was at Hot and General.
Maybe.
Now that that's in canon, part of the same universe as Weatherfield.
What? Because this is a soap, somebody's got to be in the wrong, right? Was it Shona or is it Jodie?
Yeah, what I don't want is for this to reveal some horrible dark secret, like Shona murdered somebody and Jodie hasn't seen her ever since.
Shona sold Jodie into slavery.
Is this from the same like sibling naming convention? There's like Joni and Shoni and Moni and Brody and Shona and Joni and Jodie and
Shona and Jodie, oh god.
Anyway,
right, move on.
That was that story. That was an absolute highlight for me. I think that the stuff with Carl and Debbie, bit of a letdown, just because I kind of had hoped that we might be losing Carl after Corriedale.
No,
might have been a bit of a wild card.
I knew he wasn't going to die because there were too many loose ends.
I know. I just want him to go. I need him to go. I need this story to be tied up quickly because
I love that he's
every
still
time
there.
he comes on.
I think it's great.
But there's the whole thing about Debbie possibly getting to prison. I don't want any of that. Right, so we're told on Tuesday that Debbie's had a concussion. She's been very lucky that she's actually as okay as she is. Carl is stable and recovering well. This was our big, going from Corriedale into Tuesday.
Is Carl dead?
Is he dead? He's not looking great as Kevin's watching on through the window at the end of Corriedale. But no, just like David, he's pretty much fine. He's going to be skipping down the cobbles before you know.
No, he's got a pre-existing heart condition.
Oh,
we all
who
know
hasn't
what
got
happened
something?
To Michael when he had that.
Michael?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Michael Bailey.
No.
Michael Rodwell.
Yeah.
Michael Rodwell had one. James Bailey had one.
Yeah.
And now he's got one.
Maybe Theo will stand over Carl as he dies.
How common are these? Do we need to get ourselves checked? Do you know what percentage of people under 65 are diagnosed with dementia?
No,
dementia. 0.1%.
What's the chances of it happening to Debbie?
I know. That's what I thought when I read that this morning. Anyway, so Carl wakes up later. Debbie's there saying, "You're not dead. You're on the mend. Do you remember what happened?" He's like, "No, nothing." But he does, doesn't he? And he uses, over the course of this conversation, he says to her, "What do you remember?" But she says it's all a bit hazy. And it's like, great. You were driving, weren't you? You were having a go at me about drinking and driving. So I was like, okay, sis, hop in behind the wheel yourself. You go off. And Kevin's like, oh no, you didn't. You were lying. Poor Kevin. He's absolutely right. Usually when Kevin's having a bit of a ranty time, it's like, calm down, Kevin. You got the wrong end of the stick here. But Kevin is bang on the money here.
Kevin is being Cassandra.
It's kind of so frustrating for him because nobody else is believing him, are they?
It is like Cassandra.
Yeah. And he says, you were 100% in the driving seat last night, brother. What the hell, Debbie? Why are you covering up for him? And she's like, no, I was driving.
It got really weird because I thought this was kind of weird, especially on Tuesday, because he ends up in or was it Thursday? Whenever he ends up in in Debbie's flat with all the Baileys and they're all drinking.
Yeah. And
it's Kevin and Carl there as well, and Carl's just there going. Kevin's just there going. This guy is lying. And they're all like, shut up, you're bumming us out.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, like, why wouldn't you kick one of them out?
I know. Was it Ronnie as well saying, oh, come on, you wouldn't do that. Why would Debbie lie?
Yeah, Ronnie's just like being very cool and chill. It's like, my wife would never lie about anything. You've only just married her. You don't know.
Every week that goes past, my conspiracy theory of Debbie being Carl's mum creeps up by another fraction of a percentage.
It literally makes no sense. It literally makes no sense unless she is covering for her son.
I mean, she does feel guilty that she could just feel guilty that she spoke to Elaine on the day that she died, and now she's trying to. But this is she's taking the massive rap for something.
As it stands, if it really is that she is his mum, it's like she's only just remembered because her behaviour towards him has changed very drastically since Elaine came into the picture. Yes.
I don't know. I'd be interested to watch back some of the scenes.
I think it's because the writers have just been told that she is his mum.
But I think I've said before, like when he was going out with Abby and she was saying, well, Abby's not good enough for you. That was a bit of a mummish thing to say.
Yeah.
But I really want it to be revealed because I do feel a little bit guilty that for the past, month, we've been talking about this massive theory. And I know we've spoiled it for people. Yeah. I feel... but it's not a definite thing. And we've got to be able to theorise on this podcast, haven't we? We don't too much, but it feels just so obvious
now. We deliberately did not theorise anything, do any speculation about Corriedale.
No.
Because we didn't want to spoil it.
Exactly. Which is like, how long is it going to be? Every week is like, well, surely this is the perfect time for her to say it, but they're not. And other Corrie writers thinking, oh, fuck it, they've guessed this a bit too soon, haven't they? They're not planning to reveal it until Easter.
Or are they like, oh God, that makes more sense than what we've...
Yeah.
Like, is it going to be disappointing, like kind of like it was with Ryan and Ali, where we were like, get it on, and they were like, no, that's weird.
It's got to come soon.
Right, come on, with the story. We're going to run out of time.
No, we're not. Anyway, she's like, Carl was in the driving seat. I was in the driving, but we stopped. I swapped over.
And then we carried on.
This is what happened. Which does 100% explain the discrepancy between what Kevin and Michael and everybody saw.
Yeah.
So there's no... Apart from the obvious, the bruises, which gets brought up, Kevin saying, wear your seatbelt bruises. Is it from, does it make it look like you're on the left-hand side or the right-hand side? Debbie said, I haven't got any bruises. The airbag worked. And Kevin knows that that's not how airbags work, but she's insistent. So Kevin has a go at Carl saying, you're lying, I'm not giving up on this. I felt like finishing you off yesterday, to be honest. I'm glad I didn't know. But the only reason for that was because the alarms went off. And I'm also glad. As, I'd have cheered Kevin on as he pushed the pillow down onto his brother's face. But I think I would have then been left thinking, oh no. Yeah, now Kevin's a murderer. That's pretty bad, isn't it? It's like Toya walking around being a murderer. It just doesn't sit right with me. Debbie, I love that scene at the end of the episode where Debbie's at home. She's got a little silky kimono on, hasn't she? And lots of steam. I said, watch out, Becky's been bombing the flat again, because it was very similar effect. But it's just Ronnie putting on a nice bath for her. And, of course, she's wearing her robe so that she can pull it back and go, oh, look, it's my seatbelt marks. It's not a surprise, really, is it?
Well, we knew, and she knows.
It's proof that she knows, yeah.
She's not been bamboozled or confused.
No,
or
I
have
think up to this
dementia.
point, it could be seen either way. She could have just been coerced by Carl into believing that
No,
this
she's
is what
willingly
happened.
lying.
Yeah.
Which is problematic for her because no matter what, she's going to be in trouble now. But could the Weatherfield Justice Fairy just wave a magic wand and make it go away?
Ah, she's got dementia. Let her off.
Yeah.
So Debbie's with Carl at the hospital on Thursday, and he's saying, "Look, she tries to grab his bag, doesn't she? She's helping
watch
him.
the stuff.
Yeah, she's helping him go home. He's like, leave my bloody bag alone, you. It's fine. I don't want you to. It's
Just don't look in there as porn.
Yeah,
German porn.
German porn.
I've got to go and replenish stocks. I've read all those, honestly.
That's
I'll
why.
just need some more ones.
Yeah. Anyway, so I'm going back to Germany. You're not going to get in trouble for this. Don't worry. It is an accident. You're unwell. Nobody's going to blame you. She's still clearly looking worried. He's just, he's such a git, isn't he?
I know, he doesn't care. He's got no conscience at all.
No.
He doesn't think twice. He just lies and he sees it hurting the people he says he loves.
Yeah.
And he just lets it happen.
All blamed supposedly on the fact that Elaine didn't give him enough love when he was little. Sorry.
Yeah.
Doesn't wash to me, Carl.
Wow, look at Eminem.
Well,
Look how he turned out.
when Debbie leaves, this is when at last he looks in the bag and is confused to find it's all newspapers.
Great.
And I'm still confused because it's like,
No, it doesn't make any sense. I
I'm certain that this doesn't make sense.
I did wonder...
there is 100% got to be a plot hole here.
No, I did...
There was a whole bag of money.
I did wonder whether he was going to think that somebody in the confusion of the crash stole it, but Abby just goes, it was me.
I saw some people speculating online before Thursday's episode that the bag of money was still like out there on the crash site, or that there were people would be
I'm surprised they
finding
didn't happen.
£20 notes floating around the bushes.
It would have been quite a dramatic twist if the money had exploded in a fiery...
Where did this come from?
Yeah. Anyway, go on.
Anyway, confusing. Kevin and Abby are in conspiracy mode later though, because Abby sees
Well, they're talking about...
Abby knew that Carl went off driving as well at first, and she's like, yeah, maybe you're right. And obviously, he's like dirt to her at the moment after what he's put her through. So it's very convenient for her to believe Kevin, or very helpful for Kevin, that she wants to see Carl pay.
Well, they're also
just as much as he
talking
does.
about the fact that he ran over Tyrone.
Yes, that's part of it as well, isn't it?
And Gary's like, oh yeah, the drone footage is gone. Liam deleted it because
Okay.
he doesn't understand data management.
Okay, Coronation Street. Let's don't mention it again, all right? And then we'll just say, very good, great plotting there. You really understand how things like that work, right? Carl comes back to the street, finds Tyrone hobbling.
So bitchy.
It doesn't make sense.
Well,
Doesn't make sense.
What doesn't make sense? Liam's the one with the drone.
Liam had the drone. He gave it to Jack. Jack didn't notice that Carl was on it. Happened to be there for Kevin to see. Kevin somehow magically made this wrong video appear on the screen at the wedding.
Listen, let's not
doesn't stand
about
up
it.
to any kind of scrutiny, unless it was Lisa scrutinising it, because she's a terrible
She's
detective.
like, yeah, that makes sense to me. Case closed.
Yeah.
That's my stamp. I think the real victim here is Jack, because that geography project is deleted. And how is he going to explain it to his teacher? Teacher, in like the beginning of the week, it's like, right, brand new term, everybody. For some reason, I've given you this work to do over Christmas. Can you please turn in your geography projects, which I'm going to tell you should not be 80% drone footage. And then he goes, sorry, it was literally done, right? But then my uncle, who might be my nephew, no, I don't know, but he's related to me somehow. My dad stole it and put it into a computer, and then he got downloaded, and then it got deleted, and my uncle threw the laptop on the floor, and then there was a car crash, and the vicar died. So I don't have it anymore.
Yeah, it's like beats my dog ate my homework, doesn't it?
Well, I've got notes.
Creative writing teacher pops red round the door and goes, "Got A star for you in English." Tell you what.
I mean, the other alternative would have been that the police confiscated it as evidence.
Right.
It was doomed either way.
Let's never mention it again.
I hope.
Okay.
What's he going to do about his project?
Doesn't matter.
I'm worried about
Doesn't matter.
I don't think he's got a bright future in geography.
Do you not?
I don't think he's going to make his career out of geography.
Right. So where am I on my notes? Okay. So
they're talking about why is Debbie doing this? Why is she sticking her neck out for Carl so much?
yes. Correct. Oh, this is at the police station, isn't it? Because we missed Tyrone comes back and he's having a go at Carl. So Tyrone is also Team Kev on this.
Well, he believes it. He believes him even though he hasn't seen the footage.
Yes. So Debbie's being interviewed at the police station later. I liked this officer. It's not often that we get anybody that isn't Kit or Lisa interviewing now, isn't it? I mean, it could have been McKinnon, it could have been Abney.
I know. Where have they gone?
They're off on sabbatical somewhere, probably, aren't they? Probably best places.
Probably in Bali.
Probably. I mean, they're probably in
Being
Lanzarote or Tenerife or something, aren't they?
Right, go on.
But anyway, this was a good... she doesn't believe Debbie. No. She's like, this doesn't add up. Doesn't make sense. She was like the ultimate raised eyebrow officer, as Debbie's saying. No, honestly...
You said this, now you're saying that.
Debbie's story just doesn't stand up to any scrutiny. And like the woman says, what happened back when you went through the red light? And Debbie says, I didn't go through any red lights. This is going to play out and she's going to get laughed out of court.
No, what do you mean laughed out of court?
It's like, although she does get charged with it, doesn't she?
They're not in the habit particularly of overly scrutinising people that come and say, yeah, I did it, and the evidence kind of points that way. She kind of covered a lot of it up, and the things that she didn't know make sense. She's got dementia and concussion.
I suppose.
Why would you lie about? Like, she was trying to work it out. You know, are you sure it wasn't Carl?
Yeah.
But she clearly, there's no way of proving it.
Well, not yet. Anyway, not yet.
So they're a bit suspicious because Carl's completely bladdered. And they tested everybody when they got to the hospital.
Carl was 3 sheets to the wind.
And so, well, someone's dead. So
yeah, she says what? So you thought that? Because Debbie says, well, I was maybe a little merry, but he was drunker. And she's like, well, you got dementia. What's going? Anyway, someone's dead now. Debbie.
Debbie's allowed to drive a car with dementia. She hasn't been banned. And she wasn't over the limit, because I don't think the police officer brought that up. Nobody's accusing her of being a drunk driver, are they?
No.
And so what... Really, they would have to prove that she was driving erratically, which Carl was.
Yeah. Who was it that was... Was it Michael or was it James who said that they reported the driving to the police in today's episode? Well done, Michael.
Well done, you idiot.
You don't have much to do you? But you managed to make things worse. Kevin's with Ronnie at Debbie's flat later, and the police have said, sorry, you ain't got no footage, I'm not listening to you, Kevin.
I did really enjoy that scene at the Bailey, Debbie and Ronnie's flat, with all the Bailey men there. And I just love how it feels like they're a proper family. Now you've got the two brothers, you got 2 generations of 2 brothers.
Yeah.
I really like that, and they were all having their ginger beer and talking and being cool. And then you've got Carl and Kevin going, "Oh, you did it! No, you did it!" Ah.
I love the scene where Carl had returned to the precinct and he's banging on the door, on Abby's flat door, and going, "Give me my money, give me my..." And Abby's there just smirking away
and walks off.
Because I'd forgotten that she didn't realise, or I didn't realise that she didn't know it was Debbie's money.
She just saw the bank. I don't think she realised where the money was coming
from. No, it makes total sense. She knows that he's a dodgy geezer.
Yeah. So she thought this was the ill-gotten gains. So she... Yeah, go on.
Although, could she have learnt a lesson from David, who also got rid of some... what did he do with Harvey's money? He stole the money and ended up getting his house burned down for it. So Abby really should have just given it back.
Well, whatever.
Anyway... Ronnie gets a call from the police later. Debbie's been charged with death by dangerous driving. And Kevin's like, I don't know whether I mentioned this before, but she's clearly covering for Carl, but why? And Ronnie's like, no, mate, no, she's not. She's got dementia, it's fine, she'll get away with it. So, this is when Michael reveals that he was the one that reported the swerving
I thought this
car.
was nice because Debbie's like, oh, you didn't know.
Yeah.
It's not your fault, I don't blame you.
Carl decides that he's going to take Debbie up on her earlier offer to stay with them at the flat, and Kevin's like, you bloody idiot, sister, like, you're going to jail because of him.
Is my microphone working? Can anybody hear what I'm saying? He is the one who was driving their car. And I like the way that Kevin's proved, like, and also nobody cares that Kevin's kind of saying that he was the one who ran Tyrone over.
Not particularly.
They're like, look, we've moved on. That's another storyline. It's not this storyline. This is a different car crash.
Tell you what, has Evelyn gone back to university now? Because if she'd been there this week, she'd have been well on that case, wouldn't she?
She was trying. Yeah, I mean, she was trying to solve the case.
Yeah.
If only she had asked Liam for his drone.
If only she'd got an invite to the wedding.
If only she got an invite for the geography project viewing.
Right, Friday's episode here. You got Ryan joining the crew of Auntie Carl's, and he says, "Look, he's clearly dodgy. He's been putting his fingers in the till."
Why is he involved in this? Oh, because he's jealous.
Yeah, because Raphael said about the cheap wine that Carl had been buying.
Well, because his nose is put out of joint.
Oh, it's going to be so satisfying when they finally catch him out. It really, really is. I can't wait.
Well, he's annoyed because Debbie kind of promoted Carl above him because of nepotism.
Yeah. Tyrone and Kevin make up. Hooray. How many times have they fallen out and made up over the years? Carl eventually finds Abby on Friday.
Well, hang on. Tyrone tells Carl, like, drop it.
Oh, yeah, drop the whole thing about
don't worry about Carl because you can't prove it. Just move on.
I've been saying that to you for months, Tyrone. Just drop it. It doesn't matter. Carl says to Abby, where's my money? And she's like, well, use it to pay off all my debts, actually. And then I donated the rest to Oak Hill Hospice, so screw you. And he's like, you bloody idiot. This is Debbie's money that you've done that to.
She gave it to me.
Oh, yeah, she gave it to me.
She's so nice.
She doesn't believe it. She's like, well, let's see what Debbie says about that. So they go to find her at the pub, and Debbie's like, yeah, I gave the Carl the money. Whatever he says, it's true, definitely. And then Abby drops James in it, doesn't she? Revealing the big runner-up in the Bayek Award Conversation Street last year, that those two have been at it together. Yeah. What were you giggling about then?
That they were at it together and that it's only just come out.
Yeah. And everyone's fine with it. Just want to say, why not?
Well, they're kind of like they kind of. James is not very. James didn't even try to defend himself and go, I didn't even know they were going out to start with, because he doesn't really have a excuse for the second time.
This bit of the story seems like it's over now. The whole Carl and James history thing. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but and then we see Abby visiting. Oh no, we said that already.
Abby goes to visit
Debbie. Abby visits Debbie and says, look, sorry, I spent the money on this. And I love Debbie's reaction to this, when she just kind of laughs it off and says, don't worry about it, I probably would. Oh, she's almost like I would have done the same.
Well, she says, I know you would have given it to me if you'd known it was mine, so don't worry about it. You want to pay me back, you say, well, get a job working at the garage with my stupid idiot brother and keep an eye on him.
Yeah. Could be a bit of tension there, I don't know.
She's like, I can't foresee any problem with
I do like the idea of Abby being back at the garage.
Yeah, me too, although it does feel a bit like, can we get a rewind?
I know, it does a little bit. So then...
That's what we want though, isn't it? We want it to not have ever happened.
Yeah, then you have the final scene with Ryan visiting Kevin and saying, he's been pinching money from the hotel, so we're going to all gang up, take him down together, it will be glorious. That's what happened with that story. I thought it did kind of bring down the week a little bit. Even though it was Debbie, who I love.
No, I like this.
I hate the idea that she's going to prison.
That's tiresome.
That's so unbelievably... miscarriage of soap justice. I just can't. I haven't got the energy for it.
No, I know there's a few things.
Are we going to be getting T-shirts now that say "Free Debbie Webster"?
I'll wear it.
Are we going to be chanting outside the studios? Like, don't let it get that far.
Well, they didn't listen to our petition.
If you want to maybe tease it and then not go there, fine. But I don't have the energy. It's not even been 2 years since Roy was sent down. Come on, none of us want this, do we? Right, Gemma, Kill Bill. You've cleared your throat. You ready to talk?
Yeah.
Billy's dead. Then what happened?
Everybody chucked their pictures out.
Yeah. Even
Don't want these anymore. So Tuesday, it's sad. What?
That thing is just
everyone's crying. Why?
I don't know.
What are you laughing about?
Nothing.
What are you laughing about?
I don't know.
Is it just delirious?
I'm delirious, yes.
Can I just give props to Harriet Bibby, because she, as Summer, has been fantastic this whole time.
She has been very good this
week. Crying, so realistic. I think this is kind of her at her best.
And I tell you what, she hasn't even fainted
She
once.
hasn't collapsed. She hasn't made it about herself. She
stayed vertical.
Yeah. And Todd is there supporting her, and Theo's a bit of a third wheel here, like, oh dear, it was kind of my fault.
Yeah, he's kind of keeping it to himself, isn't he? Obviously, feeling that guilt.
Yeah.
But also trying to deflect it and place it squarely on Todd, which is basically the long, the short of the story this week, isn't it?
Yeah.
Making Todd feel like this is all his.
So Todd's packed a bag to kind of run off to get away from Theo, because the last we left that relationship, he was determined to leave and Billy was going to help him.
That was also like the Debbie potentially going to prison thing. This was also just that little bit frustrating.
Yeah.
That it has reset. It's realistic, but we said it again and again. Why is he not leaving? Why is he keeping on going back? But he should have just gone and stayed with Summer.
It doesn't feel like it makes sense, because Summer comes in to
he
cry,
knows.
and then by the time that Theo comes back, it's like he traps him there. But Todd could have just said, I'm going to stay at Billy's flat with Summer. But maybe Summer didn't want to stay there with all the memories, and she wanted to be somewhere that wasn't that flat, looking at all of that stuff. But anyway, this is how it's happened. Theo is at hospital. He's got to have a scan.
So Summer could go and stay with the Allahans.
No, she wants to be with Todd. She wants to be with Todd.
But she could be with Asher, couldn't she?
She wants to be with Todd.
Okay.
So Theo's crying to George about how he couldn't get Billy out, and George says, "Oh, you're so brave. You're a hero." Yeah. Summer's talking to Todd and says she had 3 gay dads. It's not true.
Love how she
technically had 5 because
yeah, sorry, Drew didn't get a mention.
Drew did have a husband or boyfriend.
Yeah.
When she was his child, and she's only got 1 left now, which is very careless. Some people don't get any gay dads at all. So hoarding. She's a gay dad hoarder, is what she is.
Well, I think this is just the universe resetting itself, saying just 1 dad.
You only get 1. Well, so this was very sad because she was talking about how her dad's, Todd is the funny one, Paul was the silly one, but Billy was actually the dad. He was always
true,
there.
Nobody considers anyone other than Billy to be the main dad, do they?
He's the main
other
dad.
2 are just hangers on, and they've come and they've gone over the year.
Oh, well, one of them went because he died.
I know Drew's a bit more of the real dad. But
Drew's the silent victim here. So she's just like, I don't know how am I going to cope? Like, she literally, this is my dad, he's gone. And Todd's like, I'm here for you, I'm not going anywhere. And he gets stuck because at this point Theo comes in and he's left alone with him when Summer goes to bed. And then this is when Theo starts talking about trying to save Billy. And then Todd starts talking about this unedited footage of the attack that happened, that Theo had used to convince him that it was actually both of their faults what happened. And Todd's like, I've seen the footage and I know it wasn't me. And Theo says that I would do anything to not lose you. And Todd says, look, you were brave yesterday, but why'd you have to be so horrible to me all the time?
I really that was another great delivery. What are you? It didn't sound like childish.
Simple, yeah.
Why are you horrible to me? Because the dialogue itself, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, this is what you're doing. Why are you doing it? And he's like, because I love you. I do crazy things. I'm sorry, but I need you. You can't go. And he's like, just stop being horrible to me.
Well, he whimpers it out, doesn't he? To stop being horrible to me. Yeah. But it didn't feel crybabyish at all. It was just very...
like, I'm tight. I'm at the end of it. I can't carry on like this. Just stop. Why are you doing this?
Yeah.
And Theo's like, I promise, just don't give up on me. And so they're still together. And Theo's just like back to normal, like la la la.
Next day, skipping around the flat, and Todd's looking at him like,
why? How?
Do you remember anything that we talked about last night again?
George and Summer come around, and George takes the opportunity to explain that tripled means increased by 3, which we wouldn't have known without him, because that's how much the flower tributes have grown by. And Theo's like a bit awkward because I don't know if he's feeling left out, but also guilty.
Yeah.
It's a very confusing time to be Theo.
It is.
And Summer's like, look, can I stay with you? And Theo's like, yeah, stay as long as you like. And then later on, this is when Theo finally gets his handle on how he's going to deal with this and starts saying to Todd, don't blame yourself, because some people are saying it's your fault that Billy's dead, but... because you wanted to leave early and everything. But I don't blame you. I don't think it's your fault. It's just completely random. And Todd's just devastated because I don't think that he'd really thought about it like that. Or if he did, he didn't want to hear it from Theo.
No, he hadn't. Because it's clearly...
It's not his fault. I mean, it might as well be Debbie's fault for having a wedding.
What, exactly.
It might as well be Belle's fault for finding that hotel.
But yeah, Theo's making out like everyone's kind of whispering that it's Todd's fault.
Yeah.
But...
Imagine how bad you'd feel if you thought people were saying it was you. So on Friday... they're talking about the funeral, And he again is saying like, oh, no, you wouldn't do this on purpose. I'm always in your corner. It doesn't matter what people are saying about you and why and how it's your fault. So they go to the undertakers, and Billy's like planned his funeral already. Such a swot.
It's almost like he knew.
Yeah, and he's like got the.
I fell off a cliff once, and I think the universe is out to get me. So
they only need to make a few decisions, like what's going to go on the headstone and things. And Summer's like, I can't even think about this. And then George says, "Do you have anything you want to put in the coffin?"
Oh yeah,
and like an Egyptian. And they're like, "Yes, I've brought some trinkets. I have some pictures that you can put that I don't want anymore. Can you also? They didn't take my recycling. Can you put that in?" And Summer says, "I've got this music box that plays Oh Happy Day, and it was Paul's, and Billy used to listen to it and cry, and it's only just recently he stopped crying."
Do you reckon we're gonna hear Oh Happy Day at his funeral?
Well, she's like, "I hate this song. Can you just take this away?" I would keep that if I was her.
I'm really looking forward to Billy's funeral.
Because
it's clearly going to be at St Mary's, isn't it? They're not going to cheap out on
They
this.
have to put it there.
And yeah, I'm hoping, because Paul had some really great, touching, spiritual moments. His dad Denny turns up at the funeral, doesn't it? The spoilt it a little bit.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping it's going to be a funeral for the ages, because Billy
deserves it.
Billy deserves it.
He did everyone else's.
But I really love Billy, and I know that there's people online that don't like Billy, and I've had my ups and downs with Billy over the year. And if you listen back to the podcast, there have definitely been times I've been like, "Oh, Billy, bloody hell, he's just wringing your hands and not doing anything." But my overall lasting impression with Billy is he was a really good man. He has his heart in the right place.
Yeah, I agree with you.
He was a very flawed man.
Any soap character is.
Any soap character, any human is. I think he was believable, and I do have a thing for Coronation Street characters who have got a good heart, which is like why I love Hayley, for example, and why I love Hilda. And I love villains, but I love the genuinely good characters, and I think Billy, his heart was in the right place, and
yeah, I think he was a good guy.
Yeah,
and
considering
his story with Paul was just fantastic because of.
I'm glad that story happened, because I think that if that story hadn't happened and then Billy had died, I don't think I would be quite so cut up about the fact that he's gone.
It's so sad to think they're both dead now. Honestly.
Yeah, does even Theo make a reference to all they're reunited now? Or something?
I know, and it's so sad that they blasted him into space, because if they kept some, he could have been buried with Billy.
Yeah, it's interesting that there's like no practicing Christians on Coronation Street now, and I think, this is the first time ever that there's not been a practicing Christian on Coronation Street, because obviously there were loads at the beginning. Then you had Emily stayed, and then Billy came in. Not long before Emily left. Dee Dee's just left recently.
We had Sophie briefly. Well, I mean, Theo's not a practicing Christian.
I don't think you can really include Theo in it.
Who's religious?
Nobody. I don't think. I think there are characters. No, I don't think there's anybody. And
does that not reflect the demographics of the country, which is increasingly secular?
Yes, it does. It does, but I don't know. I wonder whether
it's the national religion.
Yeah, that's
Church of England. It is supposedly our. Do we need representation? I don't know for that. I would say that I would like representation from Islam and Christianity, and we've got
Alia still, haven't we?
Well,
she's Muslim.
Alia's a Hindu,
and the
Alahans are Hindu, and then.
But I don't think that the Alahans are particularly. I think they. I get the impression that in the past they were portrayed as more devout Hindus.
Observant.
That's the right word. Yeah.
It got to the point that blimmin' Ardy didn't even know what a Hindu wedding looked like, even though he was
exactly.
Okay, kid.
Alia
is probably the only religious character who actually observes her religion.
Yeah.
But we don't see her go pray, or she just doesn't
there's
drink.
Nothing, because obviously Zidane was more devout.
Yeah.
I just like it's a little
Still
a little
massive,
odd, but
I think,
obviously, like you're right, it is reflective of modern society.
It is a huge part of people's lives still.
Yeah, I wonder how easy it would be to. I mean, you could just introduce someone as like, yeah, I go to church. So what? So what?
I love it. So what?
Yeah, it doesn't have to define them or.
Maybe Summer could become religious now.
I mean, I suppose you got Maggie, who...
Is she Catholic? Are we assuming she's Catholic?
I mean, she was obviously brought up Catholic, and then she talked the other day about, like, Mexico being a good Catholic country,
yeah, she did, yeah, you wouldn't say that.
But she's also pushed her husband down the stairs. But, it doesn't... She's maybe just hoping for a quick deathbed confession.
That's quite a Catholic thing to do, though.
Exactly, that's what I thought. So... I don't know where I'm going with this particularly.
It's an interesting observation.
In days where, representation of the whole gamut of and range of human life is reflected on soaps, and and sometimes people think it's just tick boxy.
Well, some people would say that the representation doesn't represent everything.
No, I know. I wonder whether this is the end, or whether there will be other characters that come in that just happen to be religious.
Well, we've established that there are religious characters; they're just not Christian.
Yeah.
Right. So
anyway,
it's
just an observation.
It's interesting. So, they talk about in the pub who's to blame for this crash, and Tyrone says that if anyone would have forgiven Debbie for causing the crash, Billy would. So this narrative is sort of turned up that it is definitely Debbie's fault.
It's literally, clearly John Sugden's fault.
Yeah, I know. Even though there was a maniac with a shotgun in a car that drove into someone else that caused the crash originally.
Becky would not have driven into...
No, Becky...
I know that Becky was distracted by Lisa,
yeah, but
I think she was with it enough that she wouldn't have had a crash had there not been a crazy man with a shotgun.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. And John's dead now.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah.
But sometimes, at times like this, you still want to pin the blame on an alive person so that you've got somebody to...
Throw bananas at.
Yeah, bent at,
Tomatoes.
But I don't see why it should be Debbie.
I really, really want to see, and I don't think they're going to do this, but I would love to see the police investigating this and doing like a crash... what's the word?
Recreation.
Yeah. I'm watching a show at the moment called Department Q, and not to get too spoilery, but there is a recreation of a crime that somebody keeps watching over and over again, and it's on a computer. And it's like, they could do this in Coronation Street. Like, as they get new information, they update the animation, and they're like, my God, it was John Sugden all along.
I mean, Aaron, I don't know what's been going on in Emmerdale since, but... No.
Are they concerned?
Can he talk to the police and just say, yeah, it was him?
Are they like, it was that woman from Weatherfield that's got dementia that did it? Are they talking about...
Pin it on the dementia
Are they
woman.
Talking about... I mean, we watched one episode Tuesday, and they did bring it up. They did bring Corrie up. Yeah, anyway, go on.
Yeah. Something we didn't mention earlier about the Emmerdale. It was interesting how in the Monday episode of Emmerdale, the 7 o'clock one, they had a couple of little nods, didn't they, to Weatherfield, saying, Lancashire versus Yorkshire, and Kim Tate makes a reference to those damn cobbles when she's walking over some stones and a heel goes or something.
And Corrie
didn't do any of that.
No.
But anyway, they don't need to. Emmerdale should be kowtowing to Corrie, shouldn't it, and bowing down and just be lucky to be breathing the same air as those icons.
If you say.
How long have you been in the show then, Eric Pollard? Oh, is that all? 39 years, wow.
I don't even remember what I was doing in Coronation Street 39 years ago. Something awesome, probably.
What was he doing?
Shagging a bunch of birds, maybe.
Probably was. He was probably in the middle of Wendy Crozier.
It's like, at that point, Eric, I'd already been in the show so long that my ITV pension was ridiculous.
Right. The Rebecca Lewis storyline, Gemma.
Is this the last one?
This is the last one. So we saw Becky being triumphantly cuffed by Lisa.
Now, this is the fallout. This is the Swala fallout. And I don't know about you, but I'm feeling like a reckoning has been skirted around here, don't you?
What do you mean?
I really, really want Carla and Lisa to have a conversation about what the heck happened. Because at the moment, it's like Lisa's in denial and Carla's like, can you not see what's happened?
Yeah.
And Lisa's like, wow, it was very complicated. It's like, you need to take some, accountability here for what happened.
She does kind of apologise today, but I said all along, well, for the last few weeks, she needs to have a proper grovel. And she hasn't, really.
Even if it's not warranted, like, even if you can argue that she was coerced or manipulated or she was a victim, she hasn't even, like, thought, maybe I'm in the wrong, which kind of feels like the first step to acknowledging what even happened.
Yeah.
She seems to have gone straight to, like, oh, it wasn't my fault. I was just confused.
I'm just glad that they... Because obviously they're going to get together. Like, I'm glad that they haven't just immediately fallen into each other's arms, because I was worried that was going to be the case. Like on Monday's episode, when Carla's running up to the car going, Lisa, let me get you out of the car. I thought it could have been so easy to say, in the moment of drama, saying, let's just kiss and forget all about it. You're right. But they didn't. So Tuesday's episode, even the shot of Carla on the end of Lisa's bed when they're panning between all the characters and wondering who's going to get cancer. Betsy's there with Lisa at the head of the bed, and Carla's sitting at the foot of the bed, not even looking at them. And I suppose that was the clue there, that she's not ready to forgive quite yet. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, you can't let go of the fact that this is a story. This is fake, this is all fictional, and so there has to follow certain narrative beats and it to be satisfying. And so what we're talking about are not real people in a real situation. So because I know that a lot of people are analysing it like that, and that's totally fine, but we are not coming at it from that angle. We're talking about this completely fictional world where nobody really is a victim because they're all characters.
Right.
Well, that's my disclaimer, because I am saying that I think Lisa should sort of go, oh no, I'm really sorry about it. Whether or not, it doesn't really matter how culpable she is. It's the acknowledgement that she could have been wrong. That is what you need in this fictional relationship for them to mend the bridges, because she's like not even giving any leeway whatsoever into anything that she's done being problematic as far as I can tell. She seems to be quite stubborn. And so as a viewer of knowing that this is not real, and also knowing that Coronation Street hasn't addressed anything about this being abusive, it feels like there's a missing element. And I think it's going to come. I do think it's going to come. And I think that Lisa needs...
I think so.
Lisa needs a sort of somebody... She needs a friend. What she needs is a friend. She needs somebody who's a mate going, Lisa...
She's kind of got matey status with Kit now, hasn't she? After everything that happened. Because, last year he was ready to leapfrog over her to get the promotion. And
we've got it now.
Yeah. And
so he can be friends with her.
He's on her team now, isn't he? Because you get that scene, I can't remember which episode it was in, when they're in the police station, and she's like, why didn't you tell me? And he's like, well, you wouldn't have listened. Right,
so on Tuesday, Carla's like, fine, just keep taking your anti-rejection medicine, just like before. And she sees Lisa and Becky, and she's like, oh no, Betsy, and says, oh, just like before. Like, she's thinking, is this going to be just like before, or what? How is my life going to be now?
Yeah, am I going to go back just how it was?
Because this problem that was,
or have I got to address the elephant in the room here?
Was Becky, and now Becky's gone, but I can't forget what happened in between.
Yeah, I was definitely worried, by the end of Tuesday's episode, that we wouldn't see Becky again, and I was so glad when she showed up on Friday.
Well, there's a lot of loose ends.
Yeah, the end is surely nigh.
I would not have been satisfied if that was the end of Becky and we never saw her again, because she kind of needs a bit of a reckoning.
Oh no, she totally
Becky
does.
reckoning. So at number 6, Betsy is like telling Lisa that she should have let Becky go, and now that she's arrested, she's going to drop her in it, and she's going to lie and manipulate, and she sulks her way upstairs. And Carla's there, and they don't know what to say to each other.
I felt a little bit of whiplash with Betsy's reaction to her mum. Like, she was all over her mum. And
well, she's now discovered that Becky kidnapped Carla and left her to die. And I don't think this is really being given enough attention, that Carla was left to die slowly, agonisingly, from various, like, who knows what could have killed her. Could she have like died of exposure? Could she have died of a kidney rejection? Could she have died of starvation or dehydration? Literally, I don't know how she was walking. She was in that, we presume she was in that place for days. And she got let, and like Becky literally said, like, I'm not going to kill you, but I'm not going to keep you alive.
Yeah. And that, you're right, that's barely been addressed, is it?
No,
it's more
nobody's...
about, so you coming back? Tell it for me.
Yeah, nobody said to Carla, you're right, love. You know, you've had a terrible ordeal. Only thing she got out of it was a hug off Roy, which was quite begrudging, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So she's like in shock, and this woman who's done this to her is come into her life because Lisa allowed it, even though Carla kept saying to her, just don't let her in, just stop opening the door, just don't talk to her, just let her get, like, she's obviously bad news, she's lying, she's manipulating. And Lisa...
Well, even today when Lisa goes to visit her in prison.
I know.
After, like, I could almost understand, I know we're jumping ahead, Lisa saying, okay, look, I've got the visiting order, maybe it does make sense for me to go and say, I'm not having anything to do with you. But then when Carla says, don't you do that, she's like, no, you are, I still will anyway.
I know. Now, if you're a Lisa fan, you can do what I do sometimes with my favourite characters, and you just go, oh, they just wrote it wrong. That's not what she would do. They're just writing her wrong. That's a totally acceptable strategy to cope with your character being a bit bonkers and doing things.
This is what we're still riding on with Toya murdering him, Randy.
Yeah, we're like, that's just silly. We're just going to forget that happened. And I think that's what you're all doing with Tim. So if you can't do it, if you can do it with Tim, you can do it for Lisa. So anyway, so once she storms upstairs, Betsy, Carla's like saying, right, so you guys slept together, didn't you? And Lisa just doesn't say anything. And Carla's like, I can't believe I'm going. I can't deal with this. I'm going. So and then she cries and gets a hug off of Roy. I can't believe that what she's been through. Honestly, I would be in bed for a week.
I know.
And she's still heartbroken. She saved.
She's been through worse, to be honest.
She also put her own life in danger to save Lisa by running in the middle of the road.
Yeah, running in front of a minibus.
Nobody's blamed her for Billy dying because that kind of was on her a little bit.
I saw some people on our YouTube said that's not Carla, and then somebody had to point out why it was partly Carla running in there to stop the marauding van.
It was a comedy of errors, is what it was.
It was, people would have got hurt either way, but it's funny to blame.
I think we should just walk everywhere from now on to avoid car crashes. On Thursday...
I think it was Billy's fault because, with the tram driver, we saw him press the brakes, but we didn't see Billy, so I'm going to infer from that he didn't put the brakes on.
Well, the only reason that we saw the tram driver pressing the brakes is because the Manchester tram people were like, you can't use our tram. So I blame the white van people because they don't care how their vans are portrayed in fiction. They're like, yeah, blow it up, make it crash, send it on its side, set it on fire, have the petrol come out. We actually hate our vans. We want them to blow up. Sick of my job. I hate being a white van man.
Right.
On Thursday.
Next up, yeah.
Everybody's wondering about Carla and like what the hell happened, and Becky and Kim and Sister and Lisa and what the hell, and Kit comes in and they're like, Kit, tell us. And he's like,
who do you think I am, Craig Tinker?
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you anything, there's multiple investigations going on.
Listen, you didn't know.
Bye. So at the station, Lisa is at work for some reason. She's gone back to work. And also the awkward bit that everybody knows is like, you were going to bugger off to Spain. There's a load of paperwork I put on your desk for you, and you were just going to leave me hanging, not do any of it, and leave it for me to do. I'm never going to forgive you. I don't know about what Carla thinks, but I can't forgive you for that. So she's there at work. And she's telling Kit that she went to see Costello, who's saying he doesn't know anything about it. And she asks Kit why he didn't tell her about his investigation. And he says, you weren't even listening. I trusted Carla and I listened to her. You should have probably done the same thing. And also, Sarah did an investigation.
This was quite funny because this scene was basically those two realising that other people solved the crime for them.
Yeah. Sarah noticed that the photo was fake, and Lisa's like, will Carla ever forgive me?
Well, she's like, give her a deer stalker and a magnifying glass.
Yeah. Carla and Sarah should go into business together being detectives. They already, the Knicker factory is kind of wasted on them, really.
Yeah.
Anyway, Kit says, the first thing you need to do if you want Carla to forgive you is say sorry. And she still doesn't. She doesn't, does she?
Well, she kind of half does on Friday, but she's still distracted by this summoning orders.
She gets this letter from Becky and tells Kit that it's just a load of junk. And he says, make it up with your missus, who then we see Carla coming down the road. And she says, thank you for your heroism and whatever. And then she says to Lisa, I'm coming round to get my stuff later. Don't be there. But Lisa does turn up anyway as Carla's packing.
Fair enough.
Carla's been without her.
We've all incurred the wrath of our significant others, haven't we? And we've maybe been just
stubborn,
knowing that they don't really want to see you right now, and you've gone there anyway, and just in the hope that maybe they'll say, "Fine, I forgive you." We've all done it, so I don't blame Lisa for this.
Carla has got her charger for her phone, which she obviously hasn't turned on for a week. Lisa tries to apologise, and Carla's like, "I don't want to hear it." And Lisa says, "Look, let me plead my case, please. I was tricked. I thought we were in grave danger. That's why we were going to leave. I made some terrible decisions, but at the end of the day, I want you, not Becky, and I made that decision all the way through." And to be fair to Lisa, she's always maintained, and she said this to Becky's face several times. It's a shame she didn't say it to Carla's face quite as often, but she said it to Becky quite often. "Carla's the love of my life. I love Carla. I don't love you. I love Carla. I love Carla. I love Carla."
Yeah.
Carla hasn't seen any of this though, so it's kind of hard to swallow at this point.
Yeah. So this apology, well, it was an apology, wasn't it? I mean, we said earlier that she didn't really apologise, but she can't expect to be forgiven.
She can't really explain herself because it is unbelievable what's happened, because it is a soap.
It is a bit of a silly story in some ways.
She's like, "Look, to be honest with you, none of this makes sense really, and I think if you wrote it down and submitted it to a short story competition, you would get disqualified for being insane."
Yeah.
So anyway, she's saying, "Look, I'm sorry, I love you, Carla, and I'm going to go and tell Becky today." And she's like, "What do you mean? What do you mean? Why are you going? Why are you going to the prison to talk to this woman again? You literally don't get it. If she was really dead to you, you wouldn't even go." Oh, and then she goes. And Lisa's like, "Don't understand."
She thinks she knows better or something.
I don't really get it. Carla's trying to tell me something and I'm not sure what it is. I'm going to go and see if Becky knows. She goes to see Becky and she says, "Look, again, I'm telling you for some reason and not Carla. I don't love you. I love Carla. I've chosen Carla. She's the love of my life. I hope you rot in here and die." And Becky's like, "Oh, well, actually, if you don't do what I say or whatever, then I'm going to make you look like you were accessory to everything because you never asked any questions, did you? Like, how did we pay off the mortgage so quick?" So,
yeah.
And Lisa's like, "Oh, God."
It was like, yeah, she was being portrayed as being willfully ignorant of Becky's criminal masterminding.
Think there's definitely lots of people in relationships who are ignoring certain warning signs that maybe are not as serious as what's going on with Becky and Lisa.
Yeah.
But like, you would be forgiven for putting a blind eye to certain things, but it's really damning on Lisa again. Like, Becky's going, "You must have known. You can't be this dumb. I'm going to drop you in it because..."
What is this? What have they done to poor Lisa? Like, this story is just making her look like an utter
when she first came
buffoon, isn't she?
When she first came in, she was like super ice cold, like blonde, beautiful.
She was completely on the ball.
Yeah, like, I play by the rules.
This Lisa now.
She's like,
"Well, we've all had our heads turned by a pretty woman in a horrible coat,
by a beautiful brunette lady with bad fashion."
But it's like she's a completely different person to how she was pre-Becky.
You can definitely make arguments for Lisa here because she was manipulated, she was lied to, she was a victim.
And love makes you do silly things.
You do overlook a lot of things. Like, you snoring so loud last night and I did not kill you at all.
Was I?
You were so loud. I kicked you so many times to shut you up.
I don't remember any of it.
You were snoring so loudly. I couldn't sleep at all. It was horrible.
Sorry.
And so that is like, you're Becky and I'm Lisa because I allowed it, you know. I should have got the pillow out.
Yeah.
Covered your face and gently let you go into the dark night.
Oh, well.
I mean, I'm not going to go through too much about this anymore. I think we all know where this is going.
He's good. They're going
to get back together again.
Yeah. But I do like, because you were saying, I think that Becky's going to have one last hurrah.
Yeah, they
like,
always
like
do.
Richard Hillman. So many of the good baddies, you think they've had their climax and then they come back for a fight. I don't know what it is. Like, Becky surely can't escape.
Good old fashioned
she's...
escaping is what I think.
I don't think
I do.
so.
She's got
still
to
got
come
contacts
back.
on the outside, hasn't she?
Yeah, exactly.
She doesn't need to escape.
No, she's got contacts on the outside to get her out. Michael, I'm going to say this is a real life situation here. How many headlines have you read recently where people have just walked out of prison?
Oh yeah, there was.
There's been like loads of them just walking out of prison. So it's perfectly possible to do.
But they did have a prison escape just last week. Well, if she does...
Last week?
Sorry, last year. If she does, just wait until Debbie gets sent down and take Debbie with you. Take Debbie out with you. Smuggle her out. She's only little.
What I need is a proper confrontation between the three of them where Lisa properly picks Carla.
Do they just need to have a come to the one you love scene?
Yeah. Come on.
But you can even imagine there Lisa going,
hang on a minute. Becky, should I...
Oh, yeah.
Becky, why shouldn't I come to you?
Okay, I'll come to Carla in the end.
She goes to Becky and she's going, but Carla's the one I love. I'm just checking. I'm just coming to check if you're all right.
Just coming to tell you, Lisa, that I'm going to stay with Carla.
Oh,
Don't try and convince me to stay, because I might just do that.
Did I accidentally just trigger it, me picking Becky by accident? Damn it.
Yeah, no, I'm glad to see, as brilliantly triumphant as the cuffing was on Monday, I'm glad that manipulative, chaotic Becky is having one last roll of the dice. I just love her.
She is goblin.
I know I'm not the only Coronation Street viewer.
I love her as well.
Oh, do you? Okay.
I don't understand why just because I think her coat is terrible doesn't mean I don't like her.
I don't think I've seen a single other person online saying that they actually really enjoy Becky.
My favourite
she's great. She's
character
so fun.
in Coronation Street is an antagonist. And she is an antagonist, just like Kit has been in the past, and I like Kit. Anybody who causes trouble, even Carl, we need these characters to drive the narrative forward. Otherwise, it's just literally people having arguments.
She's so fun. Anyway, that was the end of this week's epic Coronation Street, and that wasn't necessarily the longest of street talks, considering we had half an hour extra to talk about, and we did rush through Corriedale affair at quite a lick. You know, even faster than they were careening through the dales on that abandoned road. But we did talk about that quite a lot on Tuesday night, as you know.
Monday night.
I've had to convince this Tuesday. So, we need to give it a score, Gemma.
Yeah.
This is a tough one. Because there's going to be, I know, lots of people on our Facebook group this week giving it a 5 out of 5. But I tell you what, this is not a 5 out of 5 week. Because...
Should have been more deaths. I really would love to have known, to go back in time, to have done the podcast during the tram crash week, and what would we have
even
given
then when I'm out,
we would have nitpicked the hell out of that, and we would have ruined it for ourselves.
Tuesday, Thursday and Friday's episodes of Corrie were pretty good.
Okay.
They were okay.
They were good.
Wednesdays was amazing. Mondays, absolutely cracking. The whole hour and a half of Corrie on Monday, I'm getting so bunged up. My voice is terrible. I'm very sorry. I'm sorry for all the sniffing. If the quality of Monday's and Wednesday's episode had stretched all over the week, that could very well have been my very first ever 5 that I'd given Coronation Street, but it didn't. I was left a little bit disappointed on Monday, but it would have still given it 5.
So mean.
So I
Honestly,
can't.
so mean.
I'll give it 4.5 wheeze and a rhododendron bush out of 5, and you need to tell me your score, because I've got no idea who I'm giving as character of the week. I really don't.
I'm going to give this week 4.5 gay characters who were behind the wheel, who kind of may have contributed to the car crash. Because it kind of was...
It wasn't very much of a clash of the gays, wasn't it?
It was a bit damning for their driving ability, but I'm not going to hold it against them. It's fiction. Yeah. It's fiction.
Billy, Aaron, Becky.
Yeah. I mean, the 2 cars at the beginning that crashed, it was Aaron and John.
Yeah. Oh, and obviously
Becky and
bisexual
Lisa.
Carl.
Yeah, and Carl was driving and Billy was driving. It's like, let's put them all in and see what happens.
Yeah. Right. Character of the week, Gemma. John Sugden. I don't know.
It's not Billy, because
I'm not giving it to Debbie as much as I love her, because she's been a bloody fool with Carl.
I'm going to give it
You saying not Billy?
No.
Went out too soon.
I'm going to give it to Carla.
Oh, okay.
For going, no. For telling Lisa, going, no. You don't get to kind of say you're sorry and then go and visit her in prison, you maniac. I'm going.
I am giving my character of the week this week.
And also trying to save people. And, she was quite heroic.
David Platt.
Oh, yeah.
Feels like, as much as I love him, he doesn't get enough shout-outs
really doesn't.
at the character of the week from me.
No.
But he was superb
What
this
about
week.
Vincent Clare?
Shut up. I know I might not have mentioned it yet, but I did quite enjoy Wednesday's Coronation Street, and a lot of that was down to David and his just his love and his care. The scene when he was with little baby Harper was beautiful. I love the little stuff, the antagonism he had with Harper. He's been calm and has been reassuring, and even on the bits like, when Shona was just about to go into her surgery and he was putting on a brave face but then saying, I'm absolutely bricking it actually, but for Shona I've got to be strong. I loved him with the wedding shenanigans, the bit where he was not drinking.
I like how he nearly inadvertently ruined his own baby surgery by just being a dick.
Yeah, I know. Really, really great character. I love him. Out of all of these stories, which one are you more interested and invested and excited about finding out what happens to next week?
Oh, I really just want to see whether there will be a proper cathartic, satisfying Swala reunion.
Do you? Do you reckon next week it could happen?
I don't know.
I think that Becky's going to be plotting her plot. Give it 2-3 weeks maybe. It's going to be foiled, and then the reunion's going to happen.
I think what people need to understand is that the story has to go through certain beats, and it is a story, and so if you want a satisfying ending, them just going, oh, never mind, this week wouldn't have been satisfying because there's so much so much bloodletting, and leeches need to suck all the pus. You know what I mean? It needs to be drained of all the badness, and it needs time.
Is that Becky? Is Becky the pus?
I don't know.
Coronation Street
I think there's so much toxicity there, and it needs to be unpicked properly. And there were other things that happened this week, and it didn't have enough time. I think I really, really if it's a whole half-hour episode of just Lisa and Carla talking, or
well, it does make me wonder. They had this half-an-hour special for David and Jonah. Just imagine, this isn't going to happen, but just imagine if every week one of the half hours was just dedicated to one story. The middle episode of the week, that wouldn't be a bad shout. There's no way they're going to do it, but. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, the story has to be sustained by conflict.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the conflict is just a function of, and the same things happened with other couples and fandoms of couples complaining that their couple is not in the show, and you're only in the show if some terrible things happening to you normally.
Yeah, exactly. I think maybe the David and Shona story I'm most intrigued by, only because I want to know a bit more about Jodie, and I know it's a bit of a low-key story, but I would say the Carl and Debbie story, but I'm just feeling too frustrated about where that's clearly going. I'm very interested to see Billy's funeral. I don't know whether that's going to be next week or not, but because it's feeling a bit rinse and repeat, maybe that's not my most anticipated one.
I don't know. Something about Jodie, I just feel a bit tired about just the idea of it.
I am a little bit okay, so is she the new face of 2026? Is she going to be in the top 10 character appearances? Are we going to be sick of Jodie by the end of it?
But what I'm worried about is she going to bring a bunch of really boring storylines with her? I'm sorry to say this, but I find these storylines boring, whether they are real, whatever. Drugs and trafficking and gangs and crime and Curtis and Nathan, and I don't really care at all. No. I don't care about that.
No, I agree. But she might just get out of that and be a great addition to the street. I don't know.
But it will be a process. The actress is good. Yeah, she's great. She's also
a bit of a. I can't remember what the actress's name is now, but she's a bit of a jazz singer.
Is
on the sly. Yeah, she is.
She's very beautiful. I can definitely believe she is beautiful. Shona's sister.
Yeah, totally. Okay, look, we're waffling again, so I think that's the end of this week's Street Talk.